Naruto, I became Hinata brother. Chapter 41. Kingdom of Hot Springs. Daimyofu. The Kingdom of Hot Springs is a country rich in natural resources and keen on pacifism. With the end of the Ninja World War, the fighting power here has begun to decline, and it is a country that is resting and recuperating. And on the edge of this Daimyofu area, a huge factory area called Mobile Communications Group was built. Although the name of the company is a bit weird, it is very famous here and in the entire Kingdom of Hot Springs, because the president of this company, People, the name is so awkward, is very rich, and he directly invested hundreds of millions of funds to build a large factory here, and recruited many workers to work. The salary is high, and there are small gifts during the New Year and other festivals. Many people in Daimyofu go to this factory to work, and many young people from other parts of the Kingdom of Hot Springs also come to apply for jobs. Now, 4 years have passed. With the arrival of a large number of people, the population of the entire Daimyofu has increased by more than 4 times. A huge and towering 20-story 09 building stands up. Huge commercial and entertainment centers were built. Factory buildings were occupying more and more land and were densely packed. There were more and more people. It was getting busier day by day. Outside Daming Mansion, on a tree-lined avenue, a young man looked at Daming Mansion which was visible in the distance and cheered loudly. Daimyofu, here I come. This young man's name is Jingkao, and he came from the most remote village in the Kingdom of Hot Springs. The reason he came here was because some time ago he heard from vagrants that a company with very good salary and benefits appeared in Daimyofu, and he could receive more than 1,000 coins every month, which was already his annual income in the village. Originally he did not believe such rumors, but several young people in the village could not resist the high salary and went there. Soon after, they sent a letter back to the village with only a few words: a lot of money, stupid boss, come quickly. Enticed by the 1,000 yuan money, Jingkao said goodbye to his parents and grandmother and set out on a journey to Daimyofu to dig for gold. Now, after more than 10 days, he finally arrived here. Half an hour later, he reached the gate of Daimyofu. Jinggu, here. A familiar voice came, and Jinggu looked and saw that it was his childhood friend Fujii. Fujii? Iguchi was surprised. Iguchi found that Fujii was wearing a bit strange clothes at this time. This clothes is simple and handsome. Fujii walked to Iguchi with his head held high and said, "How about my clothes?" Iguchi envied handsome, spirited. Fujii grinned and said, "Let me tell you, this is the company's work clothes. Look. Let me tell you, I am a team leader now." "Hey? You're the team leader?" "Humph, of course. How much has the salary increased?" 1,500. "Wow, 66666. Then, Fujii took Iguchi into the factory and introduced them along the way, while Iguchi exclaimed all the way, "This is our dormitory, the environment and facilities are first class. This is our dining hall. You can see a lot of girls. I like one girl and I am planning to pursue her. This is our factory. It's huge. This is the entertainment center. There are many fun games, but they are very expensive. Fortunately, employees have a 70% discount. 100 yuan is enough for me to have fun for more than 10 days. Look, this is a Ferris wheel. It's super scary. This is the commercial center, with lots of places to eat, drink and have fun. Many people from Daimyofu like to go shopping here. It's super lively during festivals." Iguchi felt dazzled, and there were so many things around him that he could not see them all. Especially the entertainment center and the commercial center, he could not wait to go there. Finally, Iguchi was brought by Fujii to the bottom of a tall building. It was the first time that Iguchi realized that buildings could be built so high. When he looked up from below, he felt like an ant. "This is the headquarters of our company, but I am not allowed to enter due to my level of qualification. The security is also very tight. There are even several legendary jonins here. Well, I heard that our president is very domineering and has hired many beautiful female secretaries. I guess he is a pervert. After walking around, I was completely mesmerized. The world here is so wonderful." Iguchi said excitedly, "I want to work here." "Okay, follow me, we brothers will work hard together." Fujii patted Iguchi's shoulder and said, "I'm in the sales department. This department has just been established recently, and it's mainly responsible for selling products. Recently, the company will have a super big plan to promote a cross-era product to the world, and we will be the most important part of it. Do you want to do it? I want to do it. Jing Kao said with blood boiling. Lightning Country. Daimyo. Prefecture. An officer in charge of intelligence reported to the daimyo. The intelligence officer said, according to our ninjas, a new force has emerged in the daimyo prefecture of Yu Country. A company called Mobile Communications Group has been established and is growing in a short period of time. Yu Country and Lightning Country, there is a Moon Country between the two countries, but in fact, Yu Country and Moon Country are weak and have always obeyed their neighbors Fire Country and Lightning Country. Lightning Country acts in a domineering manner. In the past, it directly regarded Yu Country as its territory. When attacking Fire Country, it did not pay any attention to the opinions of the middle countries Yu Country and Moon Country, and directly sent troops to crush them. The daimyo said disdainfully, "It's just a company, don't worry about it, right? Intelligence officer, but this company is very powerful. Our ninjas tried to get in to see what secrets there were, but none of them were blocked outside. One time, they even sent 2 jonins in, but they didn't come out." The daimyo was shocked. What? 2 jonins didn't come out? Intelligence officer: Yes, this shows that this company has a big secret, and recently I heard that they are going to launch a product this year, and they also said something epic making. I think we must pay attention to it. The daimyo nodded. Let's find the wreckage and send the Cloud Ninja over. The intelligence officer nodded yes. Chapter 42. Kumagakuer Ninja Village. Hokage's office. The 4th wreckage is bare-chested, sitting on an office chair, reading a letter from a daimyo. Hot Spring Country? Mobile Communications Company? What a weird name. The wreckage frowned as he read the information. 2 jonin went in and both died? Interesting, it looks like there's something incredible. We should go check it out. As a domineering cloud ninja, he likes to take all the good things for himself. The intelligence information in front of him easily aroused the interest of the wreckage. However, all high-level ninjas have missions recently, so we have to wait. The 2 elite jonins who were hunting down the Hyga brat said yesterday that they had found the Hyga brat's trail and should be back in the next few days. Let them go then. Just as he was leisurely drinking hot tea, his secretary Ma Bai rushed in with a very unhappy look on his face. Lord Wreckage, a message just came from a carrier pigeon that the 2 elite jonin who were sent to hunt down Hyga Tenriki are dead. Pa! The teacup shattered, and the hot tea flowed all over the Wreckage's hands, but the Wreckage ignored it. What did you say? Dead. They. 4th Wreckage was shocked. Yes, the body was destroyed by wild animals. We checked the battle scene and found that it was cut off by a ninjutsu. Mabi. Road. Can you find out who did it? There are traces of the Hyga family's mountain-breaking attack, but the fatal injury was not caused by the Hyga family, but by other ninjutsu. Are there other ninjas involved? The wreckage was furious. Immediately dispatch 6 senior ninjas to track down the Hinata brat, and also check. See who is causing trouble. Ma Bai. Yes, Lord Wreckage. After this incident, the wreckage didn't want to care about the mess in the land of hot springs. 3 days later, Hyga Tenriki and Hyga Domaru passed through the land of rain and the land of birds and arrived at the border of the land of bears. At this time, the 2 changed their clothes and put on glasses to cover their white eyes. They looked no different from ordinary people. The 2 stood on the cliff at the border and looked at the endless forest in the distance. The country of bears is ahead. Hyga Domaru said after looking at the map. Hyga Tenriki nodded. He could tell that the country of bears was ahead without a map, because in front of them was a huge ravine, bottomless and extremely wide. The whole canyon was filled with muddy yellow air. This canyon is said to be full of poisonous gas, which hinders it from communicating with other countries, so the bear country can survive. Hyga Tenriki had just finished speaking when a bird in the sky flew over the canyon, but it was poisoned and fell down and disappeared soon after. However, this kind of canyon is naturally not a problem for the 2 of them. Soon Hyga Domaru threw a stone across the canyon and built a single rope bridge. The 2 of them passed the canyon smoothly. Just after passing the canyon, Tenriki felt the fluctuation of the summoning technique. Tenriki raised his mouth. It seems that Kakuzu has sent a letter. Hyga Tenriki stopped moving forward and found a place to rest. The Star Ninja village is weak, but Hyga Tenriki is not afraid of being discovered by them. Hyga Domaru watched Hyga Tenriki summon a small lizard, and he didn't think it was strange. Xiao Tianli, there are many hot springs in the land of hot springs. It's so fun to soak in them. When will you come? By the way, last week 2 more ninjas came to spy on me. They were from the land of lightning and were Jonin. These 2 idiots actually came directly to me. Now I have taught them how to be good kids. The company is getting bigger and bigger now, and the money is almost spent, but we are ready to start officially promoting mobile phones. The first target is the Kingdom of Hot Springs and the neighboring Kingdom of the Moon. I can already see the future where money rolls in. Kakuzu is still the passionate money controller. After reading the letter and preparing to reply, Hyagadomaru suddenly made a defensive move. Master, be careful, someone is coming. Not long after, a middle-aged ninja appeared on the treetops with a 5-pointed star on his forehead. He was a ninja from the Star Ninja village. Who are you? Shinren shouted coldly, with his hands already prepared to make hand seals. What's your name? Hyga. Domaru saw that the other person was a Chunin, and immediately relaxed and asked. The Star Ninja also felt the inexplicable pressure from the 2 people in front of him, knowing that the other party's strength was definitely far beyond his own, so he didn't dare to provoke a fight. My name is Yinghuo, a ninja from the Star Ninja village. Who are you? What is your purpose? We are both wandering ninjas. We just heard that the valley in Bear Country is full of poisonous gas, so we wanted to come and take a look. Hyga Tenriki said, while looking at the ninja in front of him. Yinghuo? Isn't he the husband of the female ninja in the plot? Although he has mastered the peacock magic, he still died because of the activation of chakra energy in the end. Yinghuo felt that the short ninja in front of him looked at him strangely, but he didn't have any malice. Whoosh! Hyagadomaru suddenly appeared next to Yinghuo and knocked him out with a palm. No, our goal is to get the meteorite, we can just take it and leave. With the strength of the Star Ninja, they are no threat to us at all. Night fell. The world became dark. Hyga Tenriki sat on the top of a tree, looking up at the bright starry sky, and couldn't help but sigh. As expected of the Star Shadow village, the starry sky here is indeed more beautiful than outside. Soon after, Hyga Tenriki stood up. Let's go. The 2 of them quickly shuttled through the forest and several sentries, and came to the edge of a huge cenote. This cenote was created by the 9-tailed chakra meteorite falling 200 years ago, and its diameter is at least 300 meters. In the center of the cenote, there are several houses, and the largest round house is where the star meteorite is placed. I have always wondered why the Star Ninja village did not build the location of the meteorite, or move the meteorite to the ninja village, so that the defense will be much easier. Bang bang bang! The heart suddenly beat faster. Before entering, Hyga Tianli felt a vibration in his blood, as if he was emitting a desire, as if there was something inside attracting him. Chapter 43. Feeling the cheer from his blood, Hyga Tenriki was delighted. There is hope. However, when Hyga Tenriki looked at Hyagadomaru, he found that he had no reaction at all. Logically, if Hyga Tenriki felt the same way, his face would definitely change. Why? Are they treated differently? They are all descendants of the Hyga family, right? Hyga? Tenriki asked curiously. However, the most important thing now is to take it away. Master, there are 8 children inside, and a strong chakra, which should be the meteorite. Hyagadomaru said with his eyes rolled. With anticipation, Hyga Tenriki opened the door and walked in. It was obvious that in the center of the house, there was a meteorite bigger than a fist, emitting purple energy. The blood resonance became a little stronger. Who are you? The 8 children who were practicing inside saw Hyga Tianli and the others and immediately exclaimed and became alert. Oh no, it's an enemy attack. Someone is here to steal the meteorite. Send a signal immediately and call them over. It was the first time for a group of children to encounter such a situation. They were in a mess and looked at the 2 invaders nervously. Hyga Tenriki would not let them alarm others. He turned into a shadow and knocked the 8 children to the ground. Hyga Tenriki's eyes swept through their glasses and glanced at their bodies. It was obvious that their internal organs had more purple energy. It seems that their chakra has been activated and their bodies have begun to be eroded. Hyagadomaru nodded. This thing seems to have a lot of side effects, are you sure you want to take it? The meteorite was held in Hyga Tenli's hand, and his bloodline cheered even stronger. Of course I have to take it. Hyga Tenriki said with a smile. He concluded in his heart that in this world of Naruto, the purity of blood really has a profound impact. He can resonate with the energy of the 10 tails, but Uncle Domaru does not. This is proof. Let's go. The two quickly left the Tiankang, but were met with a series of shurikens. Peacock magic, bear demon. An old voice shouted. Then a purple long bear demon appeared in the forest, like an energy-tailed beast, and roared fiercely at Hyga Tenriki. Hyga Tenriki narrowed his eyes. Is this the tailed beast form given by the energy of the 10 tails? At this time, Hyga Domaru had already rushed out and fought with the opponent. The battle ended very quickly. Hyga Domaru only had the substitute technique and the clone technique, and then he beat the opponent down in close combat. Lord Xingying! You invaders! Kill them! A group of ninjas roared in anger. However, they were quickly killed by Hyga Domaru, who was too weak. The two quickly left the Star Ninja village, crossed the Poison Mist Canyon, and left the Bear Country. The next day, the two had entered the Land of Earth. At this time, the people of the Star Ninja village had been searching everywhere like crazy, but they could not find any trace of the enemy. In the end, they had to ask the Konoha ninja to come and investigate and track down the murderer, but they found nothing. On the fourth day, the two left the Land of Earth and came to the border of another country, Takigakur. In front of them was a huge waterfall, which became the dividing line to isolate the outside world. It was Kakuzu's hometown. It is also the hometown of the Seven Tails Jinchurikifu. It is a country hidden by a huge waterfall. Although it is surrounded by 4 countries, the unique geographical location has prevented Takigakur from being invaded by other countries. Takigakur also has the hero's water that can increase the chakra of ninjas by dozens of times. Although Hyga Tenriki is a little curious about the hero's water, he wants to try the effect of the 10 tails energy meteorite. Because in the past few days, Hyga Tenriki has passively received a little benefit. Directly bypass Takigakur, go all the way east from the border of the Land of Fire, pass the Land of Iron, the Land of Sound, and finally arrive at the Land of Hot Springs. Uncle Domaru, you have finished here. I can do the rest of the training journey by myself. Hyga Tenriki doesn't want the Hyga family to know his secret for the time being, so it's better to separate. Yes, master. Hyga Domaru also felt that he had taught everything he should have, and that the master's strength would not be much worse than his own. Hyga Domaru left, and Hyga Tenriki began to rush to the daimyo's mansion in Yu country according to the map. On the 7th day, Hyga Tenriki arrived at the daimyo's mansion. When Kakuzu heard the news, he came out to greet him immediately. I haven't seen you for 4 years. You've grown a lot taller. Kakuzu was wearing a suit, looking like a CEO. I haven't seen you for 4 years. You seem to have become more handsome. Tianli said with a smile. Kakuzu was unusually happy after hearing this. He didn't care about being handsome before. After Kakuzu took Hyga Tianli to visit the factory and the R&D center, he gave some small suggestions and then began to retreat. He was more and more eager to study the 10 tails energy meteorite. 1 month later. A huge private hot spring in the back mountain of Daimyo Prefecture. The steam was hazy. A young man in brocade clothes closed his eyes and sat cross-legged on a big rock in the middle of the hot spring lake. In front of him, a fist-sized purple stone was floating. A stream of purple energy was overflowing, turning into a faint purple smoke that enveloped Hyga Tenriki's body. Soon after, the purple smoke disappeared, leaving only the 10-tailed meteorite emitting purple energy. Hyga Tenriki opened his eyes, and the white pupils of his eyes became smoother. It seems like I have made a lot of progress. Feeling the power that filled his body all the time, as well as a smooth and natural feeling, as if he was light and free of many impurities, Hyga Tenriki felt that he was on the right path. He touched his hair again, and it became a little whiter, no longer as dark as before. However, although it was white, it was not a sickly white, but a healthy and energetic white. Do you want me to have white hair in the end? And why white hair? Do you want me to have white hair just because I roll my eyes? Hyga Tenriki actually refused in his heart. Forget it, as long as I am strong, I don't want to be a bystander in the 4 ninja wars. Feeling the amount of chakra in my body, with the help of the 10 tails meteorite, it has now increased several times. I estimate that if I am given another half year, I can officially enter the level of a Jonin. Then, I will go to the moon. Chapter 44. Half a year later. Konoha 56th year, 4. In the training ground near the private hot spring, a tall boy with waist-length white hair stood. Ninja body chakra giant. With a roar, the hand seals changed rapidly, so fast that it was impossible to see clearly. Boom! A storm rushed out of Hyuga Tenriki's body, turning into a whirlwind, and the ground crackled. It was suddenly shaken and sank, turning into a large pit with a diameter of 3 meters. A light blue energy was seen growing. 2 meters. 3 meters. 4. 5 meters. In less than 3 seconds, the overflowing chakra turned into a 5-meter-tall giant, half solid, not illusory, and his image was as if carved from the same mold as Hyuga Tenryu. The same eyes, the same long hair. Kakuzu, who was standing aside, twitched his mouth. This guy's progress was too fast. His chakra volume had already reached the peak of Chunin. How old is he now? 6 years old? 7 years old? Wouldn't it be possible to break through the bottleneck and become a Jonin in 2 or 3 years? A 10-year-old Jonin? If he continues at this speed, wouldn't he be able to reach the level of Kage at the age of 15? Damn it! Kakuzu really wanted to cover his face. He called himself a genius back then, but now compared with the kid in front of him, he was completely living a dog's life back then. Kakuzu said weakly, have you finished your training? After you finish your training, I'll tell you about the current progress of the company. Wait until I get promoted to Jonin. Hyuga Tenriki waved his hand and said. Wait until you are promoted to Jonin? You want to be promoted now? Kakuzu's mouth twitched, and then he laughed. Although I admit that you have great talent, I still want to tell you from my experience that it is very difficult to be promoted to Jonin. Do you know? In Artakigakuer, there were 32 Chunins, but only 2 of them were promoted to Jonin in 10 years, and the others were just wandering around. And I was one of them. It took me 5 years to be promoted from the peak of Chunin to the Jonin level. At that time, I was called a rare genius in Takigakuer. If you want to break through from the peak of Chunin to Jonin, you must go through various trials and tribulations, and then you will have a 10% chance of promotion. You have been training here for a while, but you lack the training. Although you are a genius, it is impossible for you to be promoted. Bala. Kakuzu spoke earnestly to Hyuga Tenriki, saying a lot and began to offer his own suggestions. I suggest you do this, Tianli. First go to. No, I can get promoted now. Oh, if you don't believe me, I'll tell you, I have a lot of experience. Shit. Kakuzu suddenly cursed. He stared at Hyuga Tenriki. At this moment, the system voice that had not been heard for nearly a year was ringing in Hyuga Tenriki's mind. Ding, chakra capacity reaches neck, system starts to assist breakthrough. Ding, breakthrough successful, chakra transformation successful, congratulations on becoming a ninja. The chakra that had already accumulated in the meridians began to be purified rapidly by a mysterious force, and even the impurities of the 10-tailed chakra were completely refined, turning into a more refined chakra, more energetic. New chakra was being generated, and then quickly replaced the original chakra, traveling throughout the body. An unimaginable strong chakra force began to breed, gather, and spread throughout the body, endlessly, surging. Feeling the incredibly strong chakra growing in the body, a sense of power filled the mind and body. Ha ha ha, Jonin, here I come. Hyuga Tenri felt extremely happy and let out a long roar. However, the system prompt was not over yet. Ding, ninja body empty shield has reached the bottleneck of mastery, the system starts to assist breakthrough. Ding, breakthrough successful, ninja body empty shield reaches great. Ding, ninja body breaking star has reached the mastery bottleneck, the system starts assisting breakthrough. Ding, breakthrough successful, ninja body breaking star reaches great. Ding, ninja body activation has reached the mastery bottleneck, the system starts assisting breakthrough. Ding, breakthrough successful, ninja body activation reaches great. A stream of experience that can only be understood but not expressed in words flows in Hyuga Tenriki's heart. Good job, ha 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 ha. Hyuga Tenriki laughed loudly. The chakra giant suddenly grew. 6 meters. 8 meters. 10 meters. 15 meters. It grew 5 times, becoming more solid, with hair, eyes, eyebrows, lips. Every detail was visible, lifelike. Ninja body air shield. A huge chakra dome covered the entire chakra giant. Ninja body activation. The chakra giant began to sizzle, emitting energy. It became even bigger and more majestic. Ninja body star breaking. The giant pushed his right hand toward the sky. Bang! With a loud bang, the stones in the circular area under the chakra giant's feet were directly shattered and floated in the air. A huge palm print exuded a majestic momentum, directly blasting the air in the air, and a rumble sounded in the sky. Countless storms rolled up from the flat ground, the sky and the earth changed color, and thunder roared like falling lightning. Boom boom boom! The whole valley suddenly changed color, and the ground was shaking. Kakuzu's mouth was huge. Even if I was hit by it, I would probably die. I'm going to you, kid. Just now I said it would take several years to advance, but you've made a breakthrough right now. Just break through if you want. Damn, there is such a terrifying ultimate move. It's so unreasonable. It's so bullying. I don't want to live anymore. Kakuzu's heart was filled with tears, and he felt that the world was full of malice towards him. Hinata. Tenriki was also surprised to see the power of the sky and earth changing color. Isn't this too perverted? Then he was excited. Ha ha ha. This time we go to the moon, we have a better chance. Knife. Chapter 45. You know Kuni Daimyofu. Haiga Tenriki and Kakuzu were standing in a very busy street. At this time, in one of the super large mobile phone stores in the street, there was a queue of more than 30 meters long. Dear new and old friends, hello everyone. In order to celebrate the 5th anniversary of the establishment of China Mobile Communications Group, China Mobile Communications Group is holding a special discount promotion. The price of mobile phones is reduced by 100 yuan, and 700 yuan of phone bills are also given. Are you still worried about communication troubles? Are you still missing your family and friends? Do you want to find friends to chat anytime and anywhere? Don't panic, don't be afraid, mobile phones will escort you and solve your problems. A mobile phone is only 69 yuan, and you can take the perfect mobile phone home. You won't suffer a loss when you buy it, and you won't be cheated when you buy it. You can't buy a car or a house for 699 yuan, but you can experience being a rich man for once. The salesperson in the mobile phone store was shouting at the top of his voice, while the customers in line were listening to this interesting advertisement with relish and marveling at it. It's been sold for over a week, why are there still so many people? The line is so long. There is no other way. This thing is so magical that I can talk even if I am so far away. It is so convenient for me. Yes, it is very convenient. Several of my uncles, aunts, and aunts are not in Damingfu. The nearest one takes more than 10 hours to walk. It was very troublesome to find them before, but now it is not necessary. As long as everyone buys a mobile phone, they can find them directly. Yes, this mobile phone is really convenient and not expensive. My brother asked me to buy him a few the day before yesterday. I was asked to buy more than 10 copies. Oh my god, why did you buy so much? Isn't this taking advantage of the low price to sell it in other places at a high price? Oh my god, that's a good idea. I'll buy 10 of them. I bought 20. Suddenly, the queue became even more crowded. Kakuzu was very satisfied with the hot sales in the store and gave a thumbs up to Haiga Tenri next to him. Or you have a way, you are much better than me at advertising, sometimes I think it would be better for you to be the president. LOL, really, Haiga? Tenri felt a little guilty and took a few steps away. At this time, a new slogan appeared. Mobile phone shocking price, only pay 699 yuan to get a photo of the group president, put it at the door to bring good luck, put it at the bedside to get pregnant, first come first served. The salesman's shout was so loud that everyone could hear it clearly. A photo of the president. Put it at the door to bring good luck. Put it at the bedside to get pregnant. Get pregnant. Get pregnant. After hearing this, Jiaoda was stunned. Not long after, he roared in shame. Tenriki kid. At this time, Haiga Tenriki had already fled. However, when Kakuzu heard the conversations of the customers around him, he was stunned. Wow! A nice photo of the CEO? This is a must. Mr. President is my idol. Such a large group cannot be established by an ordinary wise president. I have always admired Mr. President. I heard that the president doesn't have a wife yet. My daughter is pretty good. I wonder if I can introduce her to him. Get lost, Mr. President is mine. All of you, get out, the president is mine. Can you give me 10 photos of Mr. President? I'll pay you 100 yuan. I want 10 for 200 yuan. I want 105 photos, 300 yuan. For a moment, it seemed that the CEO's photos were more popular than mobile phones. After hearing these arguments, Kakuzu couldn't help but blush a little, and at the same time he had a strange feeling, the feeling of being respected and supported. Kakuzu was also a passionate young man back then. As an elite in the Taki Ninja village, he accepted the task assigned by the top leaders. The task content was to assassinate the Hokage. After Kakuzu arrived in Konoha, he fought with the first generation of Hokage, but he was defeated by the wood escape secret technique of the Hokage, Senju Hashirama. He was in danger of death, but finally returned to the village. After returning, he was charged with mission failure and heavy punishment. The ninja who gambled his life for the village was treated cruelly, so Kakuzu escaped from prison with a very strong hatred, and took away the forbidden technique regarded as a treasure by the village, and took away the hearts of all the senior people in the village. The forbidden technique was the vascular tentacle used by Kakuzu, Earth Grudge. Since becoming a bounty hunter, he has begun an endless journey of killing. His heart has long been cold. If it weren't for Hyuga Tenriki tempting him with money and gradually warming him with a different way of getting along. Now, after hearing the villagers' respectful words to him, his frozen heart slowly melted and opened up again. Besides money, is there anything else worth protecting? Kakuzu remembered what Hyuga Tenriki said to him. At this moment, he suddenly had the urge to protect this company, the employees and all the people who liked and admired him. This feeling is so good. I heard that bad people who become good people will die quickly. Tisk, who cares? Just like it, I've lived enough anyway. Kakuzu's cold heart began to change slowly at this time. Hyuga Tenriki was hiding from Kakuzu at this time, but after waiting for a long time, he didn't find Kakuzu coming. He couldn't help but feel a little puzzled, and didn't know that Kakuzu had begun to change in a new way at this time, a change that was developing in a good direction. Chapter 46. With the official launch of the mobile phone, the mobile communication group became famous in the whole country of Soup. In Damingfu, almost every family will be equipped with a mobile phone, otherwise they will be embarrassed to go out. If you call your friends by walking over to call them instead of using your mobile phone, it means that you are too bad. As the man in charge of the family, when you go out, you will hang a mobile phone in a conspicuous position on your waist. When walking, you have to shake your waist and show your mobile phone intentionally or unintentionally. One word: show off. If a woman holds a mobile phone in her hand, she will definitely become the object of envy of other women, and will receive waves of envious and jealous compliments. Of course, if someone's mobile phone is not the ordinary version, but the local Tyrant Gold version, it will attract more attention, and the vanity satisfaction in the heart is simply awesome. 09WITH The popularity of mobile phones, the reputation of the mobile communications group has become more and more grand, and the beautiful photos of the president, Professor Du, have spread throughout the entire Daimyo Prefecture and the surrounding villages and towns of Hot Spring Country, becoming a favored item at the gate and bedside. Even the daimyo is not as famous as him. More and more people from Hot Spring Country are preparing to come here to pan for gold. The population density in the area where the mobile communications group is located has skyrocketed, and more commercial stores have been established, gradually replacing the core position of the Daimyo Prefecture. The 20-story mobile building has become the landmark center of the entire Daimyo Prefecture, replacing the house where the daimyo lives. Just like that, after 5 years of preparation, a new group that combines economy, violent power, and technology has been hatched. Mobile building. Kakuzu and Hyuga Tenriki stood on the top floor of the 20th floor. One of them wore a suit, burly and domineering. The other wore a golden patterned robe, with outstanding grace, and his silver white hair made him look particularly charming. Facing the wind, his clothes rustled. The two looked down at the crowded, prosperous and bustling streets below, which already had the style of a city. Kakuzu last month's income report is out, with a total income of 50 million and a net profit of 30 million. In other words, I can earn 360 million a year, which is much faster than me getting bounties by killing people. Hyuga Tenriki smiled and said, this only covers the country of hot springs. Once we cover the countries with large populations such as the country of fire and the country of lightning, the income will definitely soar at a rate of over 100 million per month. It will be at least tens of billions a year, which is more profitable than robbing money. It's more convenient than robbing money. Kakuzu grinned. As a money lover, nothing is more attractive than this. However, I am afraid that the country of thunder will not be tempted by this benefit. Haiga. Tenriki said. We really need to be on guard against this. Last month, 15 people were caught spying on intelligence, including 1 Jonin and 5 Chuyunins. Some were sent by the daimyo of the Land of Lightning, and some were Kumo ninjas. Money can attract people, especially when it is a huge benefit that can be seen and touched. I have already accelerated the recruitment of ninjas, and also opened some ninjutsu for them to learn in exchange for their loyalty. In addition, I am researching a forbidden technique that can control people, similar to the caged bird of your Haiga family. I agree with this. Tianli nodded. If they are willing to be controlled, I can give them a 10-fold bonus. If they are unwilling, they will be kicked out of the core area. At the same time, Land of Lightning, Daimyo's mansion. The daimyo and high-level officials of Land of Lightning were also discussing the matter of mobile group. As the sales of mobile phones became more and more popular, they began to radiate to the surrounding areas, which directly alarmed the daimyo of Land of Lightning. The intelligence officer stood up and reported to everyone last month, our envoys sent a total of 1 Jonin, 5 Chunins and 9 Genin to spy on intelligence. As a result, most of them died at the hands of the other party. Only 4 are still carefully hiding. At present, there is still a lot of room for intelligence collection. In terms of internal employee rebellion, the progress is also very unsuccessful. The daimyo waved his hand. Tell me what you have investigated. Intelligence officer, what we can confirm at present is that the leader of the other party is named Professor Du. Obviously this is a nickname. This person rarely shows up and usually only works in the mobile building. At present, we only have the beautiful photos circulated by the outside world. We have investigated his appearance and can't find any clues. It's as if he appeared out of thin air. Tianli, the photo editing technology is invincible in the world. However, there is a piece of information from the inside that deserves our attention. This leader, Professor Du, must be very powerful. One time, our Jonin was caught by him in one move and had no chance to fight back. 547 one move. So powerful. The rest of the people present were all surprised. The daimyo pondered. He is powerful and has so much money. This kind of person should not be difficult to investigate, right? Send more people to investigate immediately, and let the Cloud Ninja Village join in as well. Intelligence officer. Yes. The daimyo then turned to the administrator. Tell me, according to your calculations, how much income can they earn every month? The administrator held a piece of paper. I've calculated it. The conservative estimate is more than 10 million a month, hundreds of millions a year, or even more. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Everyone present was shocked. The daimyo's face changed. Their lightning country's annual income was only about 1 billion, but a company in the other small soup country could earn so much. The daimyo suddenly clapped his hands and laughed. Haha. Good, good, this is simply a gift from God to us. We must snatch them away. Naturally, the others were also very excited. It would be a waste not to take a bite of such a big piece of fat. The daimyo ordered write a letter to the Hidden Cloud Village immediately and inform them of the situation. Chapter 47. The Hidden Cloud Ninja Village. The Raikage's office. The Raikage has had a rough time in the past 6 months. After failing to capture the Haiga brat, 2 elite Jonin died, and all sorts of troubles often occurred in other missions. Half of the missions failed in the end. Not only did they not make any money, but they also ruined the reputation of the Cloud Ninja. Look at Konoha, which has been thriving in the past 6 months. The ninja missions have been widely praised by the outside world. Many people would rather go to Konoha to hire Konoha ninjas instead of looking for Cloud ninjas nearby. Obviously, Konoha has recovered. If the Land of Lightning dares to threaten Konoha like it did 5 years ago, Konoha will probably show its muscles directly. Money. If I had money, I could train more ninjas and make the Kumagama village even stronger. It's all about money. Talk talk talk. There was a knock on the door. Secretary Mabai came in. The letter from the daimyo. The Raikage took it impatiently, opened it and began to read. The Land of Hot Springs? Mobile Group. Raikage remembered that the daimyo had asked him to investigate this place half a year ago, but he had given up the task because he had sent people to look for the Haiga kid. Not long after, Raikage's eyes lit up, and he burst into laughter. It's really fat meat delivered to your door. Tens of millions a month. With this money, I can train more ninjas and make the Kumagakur stronger. To hell with Konoha. From the first to the fourth generation, the Kumagakuer and Konohagakuer have accumulated too much hatred. Not to mention that the two villages are competing for the title of the first village in the ninja world. This is also the expectation of the successive Raikages, and they are expecting it until death. Moreover, this mobile phone is extremely convenient for the ninja battlefield. It can further optimize the dispatch of the ninja army and exert greater power. We must take them down. The fourth Raikage acted decisively and quickly issued several orders. Like the land of lightning, the land of fire, which is adjacent to the land of hot water, also quickly noticed that a new communication tool had appeared in the land of hot water. Later, Konoha also received the news. Then, the land of wind, the land of earth, the kingdom. All the major countries and ninja villages received the news. Some were ready to wait and see, some were ready to cooperate, some were ready to steal, or even rob directly. Even Akatsuki already knew about it, and understood the intentions of Pain and other members of Akatsuki. The land of hot springs. Mobile building. You mean, you want to go to the moon? Are you sure it's the moon? The earth in the sky. Kakuzu's eyes almost popped out, and he looked at Hyuga Tenriki in surprise, and his voice directly rose octaves. Hyuga Tenriki said disdainfully, what's so surprising about going to the moon? Do you want to go and see it? Take you with me. Kakuzu saw that Hyuga Tenriki was indeed not joking, but serious, and immediately became Spartan. Kakuzu wondered, how do you go to the moon? Fly. Tenriki smiled and said there is a space channel that will directly teleport to the moon. Kakuzu space channel? What the hell is this? Tenriki anyway, it was made by a very powerful person. He should be considered an ancestor of my Hyuga family. Yes, I should be. Kakuzu. Will it be dangerous for you to go there? Tenriki. There will be an opponent in there. Maybe he is very powerful, surpassing the cage level, or maybe he is very weak. It's hard to say. By the way, there will be a lot of puppets in there. Jiao was puzzled. Cage level. Then why are you going? Why do you want to go? It's so dangerous there. Tianli, there is something there that can increase my strength, a very powerful ability. I won't go this time, but I still need to go in the future. Besides, I feel that my strength is not enough. Kakuzu's mouth twitched. I'm already a jonin now, and I have a few perverted ninjutsu, is that not enough? Tianli sighed. Not enough, I can already feel that a great change in ninjas is coming, and even a cage level person like you will find it difficult to protect yourself in the future. Isn't it? In the future, there will be many cage level people, and jonin will be worse than dogs. Such strength will only be killed by Naruto and Sasuke or Oitachi or Kamikara, who are at the level of abnormality. This is also the reason why Hyuga Tenriki has to work hard to practice. Naruto and Sasuke are completely unreasonable, and if he doesn't seize the opportunity to improve his strength, when the opportunity is gone, he probably won't even have a place to cry. Do I have to kneel down and lick the opponent when I encounter illusions in the future? Do I have to be on the verge of life and death every day? Even death is controlled by the enemy? Worried every day? Is it like the original plot, where the Hyuga family becomes a supporting role, and the weak ones are easily chopped? Hyuga Tenriki doesn't want this, he wants to be the strongest in the ninja world. He can decide the fate of himself and the Hyuga family. He can steal the limelight when Naruto and Sasuke are showing off. He can crush and beat the Oitachi family when they are showing off. The strongest in the ninja world. Free and unrestrained. Beat whoever you want. This is what Hyuga Tenriki pursues in his life. Moreover, Hyuga Tenriki also has his own trump card, which can guarantee his life. If he fails, he can try again next time. Kakuzu shook his head and didn't believe that the ninja world would become like this in the future, but after thinking about it, he said. Otherwise, I will go up with you. Anyway, I have lived for more than 90 years, and I have lived enough. Since his heart changed, he suddenly felt that he had something to protect, and his life had a new splendor besides money. Haha, sure, I think it's too boring to go alone. Hyuga Tenriki laughed. If Kakuzu goes up with them, he can definitely help a lot, especially with the puppets. So when should we go? Just these few days, 2 days should be enough to go to the moon and back. Okay, I'll go tomorrow. I'll arrange everything today. On that day, Kakuzu called together some core ninjas, scientific researchers and managers, cast a control seal, and gave them generous rewards on the spot, including dividends, resources, positions, etc. Needless to say, these core members were glad for their decision. At the same time, for the sake of caution, they also backed up important information and placed it elsewhere. Chapter 48. A huge white bird flew straight through the sky at an incredible speed. On the back of the giant bird sat two people, Hyuga Tenriki and Kakuzu. This giant bird is a sealed ninjutsu, a mimicry of the beast, a skill similar to Sai, and a very practical means of air transportation. Kakuzu stood on the giant bird, looking at the mountains and forests in the distance, the snow-capped mountains, the boundless expanse, with no end in sight. I've never been here before. It's a pity that Hyuga Tenriki is not in the mood to appreciate this beautiful scenery, otherwise he would definitely sing a heroic and majestic to show off. We are almost there. Hyuga Tenriki opened his Byakugan and looked ahead. He saw a huge abyss cave. Perhaps because he had broken through to the level of a Jonin, or perhaps because his bloodline had returned to its ancestral purity, the observation range of Hyuga Tenriki's Byakugan was much wider than that of an ordinary Byakugan. Now, Hyuga Tianli can see targets 20 kilometers away, and very clearly. I don't know how far apart Otonoki Yehui's eyes are, but they must be scary. Soon after, the giant bird came to a huge lake and did not stop, but went up the river. A huge waterfall rushed down, making an extremely loud roar. The giant bird continued to move forward and soon reached the top of the cave. It's right here. The giant bird began to descend, fell into the cave, and continued to fall. After a distance of several thousand meters, it finally reached the bottom. The two came to the ground and put away the giant bird. Kakuzu looked at the ceiling and found a strange text symbol. He asked curiously, what is this? Hyuga Tenriki, this is the A in Ahum, which roughly means that this is the starting point. Hyuga Tenriki focused his eyes on the front. There was a small lake with a light blue light. The surrounding rocks had been corroded by the water like stalactites. He looked into the lake with his white eyes, but his vision was distorted and he couldn't see what was below at all. He scooped a small handful of water with his hand, but it dried up quickly. It felt like alcohol evaporating. Kakuzu, this water is a little special, even my eyes can't see through it, maybe we can take it back and study it to see what it is. Is that so? Kakuzu was also curious. He had never seen anything that his eyes could not see through, so he took out a large bottle, filled it with water, and prepared to go back to study. This is all money. The two quickly jumped into the lake, swam around for a while, and swam to the end. After landing, they saw many rock balls and some yellow light balls. Hyuga Tianli felt that the space here was completely chaotic, there was no gravity, and there was no definition of up, down, left, and right. The two felt a little uncomfortable. Don't look at this ball of light, it will make you enter an illusion. Hyuga Tianli reminded. At the same time, on the moon, a sleeping boy suddenly woke up. Is there an intruder? He has short silver white hair and a delicate face. However, his eyes are hollow and dark, which is a bit scary. It is obvious that he has been dug out. I smell the scent of the Hyuga family. The short-haired boy suddenly began to tremble all over, not because of fear, but because of excitement. Although I don't know how I got the chance to beat you, I accept your eyes. I hope your bloodline is pure enough. Ha 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 ha. The terrifying laughter spread throughout the silent castle. On this side of the passage. With Hyuga Tenri's reminder, the two of them were safe all the way and soon came to another identical lake. Crossing the lake and getting ashore. At this time, the sense of gravity finally returned. And at this moment, the ground began to shake violently. Boom boom boom. A burst of rocks rolled down, and the cave shook. A huge red and blue crab ran out. This crab was about 10 meters tall, and its huge claws flashed with cold light. This crab is the guardian here. Don't be touched by its foam, or you will be trapped in an illusion. As soon as the crab appeared, it sprayed a huge mouthful of foam saliva directly at Hyuga Tenriki and Kakuzu. Kakuzu threw a few shurikens at them, but they were directly blocked by the crab's hard shell, and even the shell was not damaged. Tentacle punch. The arm hardened immediately, and then the black tentacles separated from the limbs, stretched out and punched the crab. The power of this move is comparable to Tsunade's punch. Snap! The crab's claws were successfully broken, but the main body was not injured. Damn it! Kakuzu cursed angrily. At this time, Hyuga Tenriki shouted loudly. Ninja Body Chakra Giant. I saw a huge chakra giant wrapped in Hyuga Tenryu, and then it quickly grew larger, and in the blink of an eye it grew to 15 meters high, directly taller than the crab. Ignoring the constantly ejected bubbles, a chakra kusanagi sword formed directly in the air. Slashed at the crab. Sword chi and chakra. Swish. The crab's body was cut in half. So neat. Kakuzu's mouth twitched. What a pervert. At this moment, he doubted his own strength for the first time. But he quickly shook off this idea and began to take out the sealing scroll to seal the crab's body and put it in the laboratory for research. This is all money. Kakuzu always likes these things that can be exchanged for money. After dealing with the crab, the two quickly left the cave and came outside. Soon Kakuzu was stunned. Here. The scenery outside is too amazing. Chapter 49. I came up, I thought the moon should be desolate, but the scenery in front of me was not. The sea, the blue sky, the white clouds, the sun, the distant mountains, and a large island floating in the sky. Super beautiful. Super spectacular. And where they are is a small island, and they are standing at the highest point of the island. This is the moon. Kakuzu turned his curious eyes to Hyuga Tenriki. He knew that Hyuga Tenriki must know a lot of things because that's how Hyuga Tenriki showed himself along the way. This is the moon, and we are inside the moon. As for the sun, it is an artificial sun. What I want is inside it. Hyuga Tenrikido 547. Gulu. Kakuzu swallowed hard. Damn, where are they going? This is too much. The moon is a miracle that must have been created by a super scary person. Are you sure you want to steal something from such a scary person? Kakuzu felt that this was a suicidal act. Very suicidal. Kakuzu wanted to stop Hyuga Tenriki and run away. Woo woo woo. I thought I was awesome at being a cage, but after coming here and seeing all this awesomeness, I realized that cage is just trash. Hyuga Tenriki said with a smile, don't worry, the other side doesn't have any strong people. Then he told Kakuzu about the origin of the moon. Do you know the ancestor of ninja? The sage of six paths? Hyuga Tenriki asked. Of course I know. Kakuzu nodded like a little chicken pecking at rice in elementary school. But you probably don't know his real name. It's called Odoji Hago Romo, and his surname is Odoji. When the 10 tails was rampant, fooling, Odoji Hago Romo extracted the energy of the 10 tails and split it into 1 to 9 tails, then used Chibaku Tensei to seal the 10 tails body, and finally turned it into the moon. Kakuzu opened his mouth so wide that he could almost fit the bowl in. You said. This moon was created by humans. Damn, it feels like this world is really full of it. Cage level is so powerful. Cage level. Let alone creating the moon and sending it to the sky, even destroying the moon would take decades to do. The gap is like heaven and earth. It can't be calculated by reason. The world is too dangerous, I'd better be a domineering president. This thought ran through Kakuzu's mind. If he knew that besides the six-path sage, there was an even more terrifying guy, Kagaya Otoki, the six-path sage's mother, Kakuzu would probably kneel down. Hyuga Tenriki continued, and the six-path sage has a younger brother named Kagaya Otoki, who moved to the moon to guard the 10-tail seal. His strength should be similar to that of the six-path sage. Kakuzu stuttered, I am a little weak in the legs. Damn it. There is such a scary guy here, how dare we come here to steal things? Damn it. We are dead. Don't worry, he must be dead of old age now. Hyuga Tenriki said with a smile. Kakuzu was finally relieved, but was soon awakened by another question. No, this is Odoji's, not your Hyuga family. Why are you here to find someone? Because our Hyuga family is the descendant of the great Kiriaki family. Hyuga Tenriki smiled, then changed his tone again, but you have to keep this secret, because it's better to keep a low profile. In the ninja world, there is a monster that has lived from ancient times to the present, and has been carrying out various conspiracies in the ninja world. If he finds out, we will be in trouble. By the way, he may have joined the Akatsuki. Hearing this, Kakuzu felt even more stressed. There were ancient monsters and ninja world conspiracies. He looked at Hyuga Tenriki with resentment. You might as well not have told me this. Now I'm so upset. Hyuga Tenriki grinned. I'm urging you to work hard. Don't be so lazy. You've gained weight in the past few years. Kakuzu. Damn, it's true. It seems that I can't be lazy anymore. I also feel that my powerful ninjutsu is too poor and lacks a special move. At this time, Hyuga Tenriki took out the 10 tails energy meteorite from his waist pocket. When they appeared on the moon just now, the meteorite began to jump. It felt like it began to absorb the surrounding energy and store it. Do you know what this is? Hyuga Tenriki placed the 10 tails meteorite in front of Kakuzu. Get lost, I don't want to know. Jakuzu turned his face away. Well, this is part of the 10th tail. Kakuzu. Wow, my hunch was right, I'd rather not know anything. As the two of them were talking, the giant bird flew to a place with countless buildings. There was no one in these buildings, and it was dead silent. Now the people on the moon are all dead. Hyuga Tianli said. Because they knew where the Samsara Eye was, the two sat on the giant bird and went directly to the sun in the sky. Soon after, they came to the edge of the sun. It was obvious that this was an artificial sun, and the outer sphere was a solid barrier. They did not encounter those puppet troops, and two was on the shell of the sun, and a huge original gap was opened directly. It seems that he knows I'm coming, said Hyuga Tenriki. In the original plot, Oatori Tonari used the eyes of Hyuga Hanabi, but now, he doesn't have the eyes of the Hyuga family, so he must be eyeless now. And now that he knows that this Hyuga family member who came to the door will naturally welcome him very much, and will be happy to accept this pair of white eyes. Sure enough, when Hyuga Tenriki entered the sun with both hands, he could see the group of puppets who were staring at him covetously. In the center of the puppets, a young man in a white robe was laughing wildly. Ha ha ha! The pure and fresh Byakugan of the Hyuga clan, you are here. Chapter 50. Ha ha ha! Pure and fresh Byakugan of the Hyuga clan, you are here. The way of Otoji Tonari's appearance is very unique. Hyuga Tenriki touched his nose and said, you have no eyes, what a poor kid. It's quite pitiful. Kakuzu nodded seriously. Upon hearing this, Tonari Toki laughed strangely and said, soon your eyes will be mine. By then, I will evolve into the Samsara Eye, become the most powerful person in the world, and destroy this world full of tragedy created by our ancestors. Destroying the world came out of his mouth as if it was a very sacred thing. Without his command, the hundreds and thousands of puppets behind him began to gather in a neat formation and charged forward collectively, and also sent energy balls from their palms to bombard them. When Kakuzu saw the dense energy balls, his legs went weak. Hyuga Tenriki took out the increasingly full 10 tails meteorite. Don't let me down. Ninja body, Chakra giant. Ninja body empty shield. Two loud shouts. A 15-meter tall Chakra giant quickly grew and formed, covering Hyuga Tenriki and Keiku, and then another Chakra shield covered the two of them. Boom boom boom. Countless energy bombarded the dome, causing ripples on the dome, but it did not break the dome. However, it was obvious that the overflow energy of the 10-tailed meteorite was instantly reduced by 1/3. Swords are coming. With a loud shout from Hyuga Tenriki, a Kusanagi sword began to appear in the giant's hand, and it kept growing, and soon became a 10-meter-long sword. Sword energy. Sweep. The sword energy mixed with chakra turned into a 100-meter-long sword, and directly swept the group of puppet troops rushing over. Boom 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 boom. In just a moment, more than half of the hundreds of puppets were directly crushed into countless debris. Kakuzu saw this scene and twitched his mouth. Pervert. Jounin, your sister. But what he didn't know was that just with this knife, the amount of chakra of the 10 tails was directly reduced by 1/3. Although Tonari Otoji couldn't see Dong, he also felt something was wrong and wondered how can you be so powerful? Impossible. You are obviously a Jounin. Because I'm a genius. Hyuga Tenriki snorted coldly. Impossible, there must be a special reason. You have the chakra of the 10 tails. Otoji Tonari finally felt the meteorite in Hyuga Tenriki's hand and was shocked. But soon he shouted with joy, ha ha ha, your chakra is too little, it can definitely not support such a large energy consumption. Come out, my puppet servants. Otonoki Sharon called out. Suddenly, many puppets appeared around him, numbering more than 1,000. Separate and attack. A large number of puppets began to scatter in all directions, besieging Hyuga Tenriki, no longer gathering together. Boom boom boom. Explosions continued, and the energy shield suddenly reduced a lot and became thinner. The energy of the Ten Tails meteorite was visibly thinning. Hyga Tenriki felt very passive. There were too many of them, and it was not feasible to attack them one by one. Kakuzu was standing aside, about to cry, "Damn it, I seem to have become a burden. I'm a cage level." Just as the situation became more and more unfavorable and the energy shield kept shaking, Hyga Tenriki slapped his head and cursed himself for being so stupid. "My purpose is not to fight this guy, but the Samsara Eye, why should I waste time with him? It is obvious that because Otoji Tonari has no eyes, his strength is the same as that of a Jonin, not as strong as himself, Kakuzu can beat him." After thinking about it, he made a seal without saying anything. "Peacock, magic peacock!" With an excited shout from Hyga Tenriki, the chakra giant shrank directly, then grew a pair of wings, grabbed Kakuzu, flapped his wings, and a strong wind rose, instantly leaving those puppets far behind. "The Samsara Eye is right there." Hyga Tenriki easily saw with his Byakugan that there was a huge crescent moon in the center of the sun, and in the center of the crescent moon was a huge black ball. Hyga Tenriki felt his blood boiling, so excited. "I have been looking forward to it since I was born, and I am finally going to meet him." Otoji Tonari was stunned for a moment. Is he looking for the Samsara Eye? Why does he know about the Samsara Eye? Moreover, it seems that he knows the location of the Samsara Eye. Why is that? He quickly ordered the puppet to catch up quickly, while constantly cursing and roaring. "You thief! How dare you, a lowly pariah, dare to desecrate the sacred object of the noble Otonoki family?" Unfortunately, no matter how he cursed behind him, Hyga Tenriki ignored him and instead approached the giant ball where the Samsara Eye was at a faster speed. Soon after, Hyga Tenriki and Kakuzu arrived in front of the giant ball. It looked very small from a distance, but up close it had a diameter of at least 300 meters, which was super huge. Hyga Tenriki cleverly found the suspended stone path and soon found the entrance. This was a tunnel that was not too big, with a height of 2 people, and there were many small red light balls scattered along the way. "You stay here and guard, is that okay?" Hyga Tenriki said to Kakuzu. Kakuzu said indignantly, "No problem, don't underestimate me, I'm a cage-level warrior." "Wow, I'm looked down upon." In the hidden cloud village, the 4th Raikage received information from the front. According to an insider, the president of the mobile group and a stranger left the land of hot water and disappeared. At almost the same time, the daimyo of the land of lightning also received the same information. "Haha, good, here comes the opportunity. Assemble the troops now." Chapter 51. After receiving the news that the president of the mobile group had left the country of soup, the Kumagami village and the daimyo began to send people to steal intelligence on a large scale. Half a day later, the Kumagami and the daimyo finally collected detailed information on most of the researchers, executives, and security ninjas of the mobile group. "The intelligence is clear, now. Let's go." With the order of the 4th Raikage, the assembled ninja team of the Land of Lightning began to march to the Land of Hot Springs. There were more than 200 ninjas, including more than 10 jonins, and the Raikage and Killer Bee, who were at the level of Cage, all went into battle. When this large army passed through the Land of the Moon, the daimyo of the Land of the Moon directly knelt down and licked them, lining the streets to greet them, and even wanted to send fruits and quickly send this group of irritable demon army away. It took a day for the ninja army to arrive at the Land of Hot Springs. The daimyo of the Land of Hot Springs, let alone resisting, collapsed to the ground directly, not daring to have any opinions, like a quail. The thousands of employees of the mobile group who received the news, as well as the tourists who came here for the reputation, were all stunned at once. "The brutal Cloud Ninja is coming, run away quickly. I heard that there are thousands of ninjas dispatched. Let's run away quickly, or we will die. The Cloud Ninjas are very cruel ninjas. Run for your life. Help!" All of a sudden, the entire business center, factory, dormitory of the entire mobile group was in chaos, and countless people fled in panic. Some villains thought this was a good opportunity, and began to kill and rob, and even pounced on beautiful women and laughed wildly. For a time, the originally prosperous, lively, peaceful, and joyful small city disappeared, and began to be filled with chaos and violence. The Cloud Ninja army naturally didn't care about these, but went directly to the mobile building. According to intelligence, the most valuable researchers, research materials, and laboratories of the mobile group are here, and it is also the place with the strongest guard force. Surround this place. The fourth Raikage gave an order, and 200 ninjas directly surrounded the mobile building. The fourth Raikage said to his secretary Ma Bai, I send people in immediately, it would be best if we can obtain all the information peacefully. If anyone is willing to be employed by the Land of Lightning, the salary and bonus will be doubled. Ma Bai, yes. Wait a minute. They. Fourth Raikage suddenly stopped them and said coldly, take 10 Anbu in, and kill anyone who dares to resist. Yes. In the mobile building, people in the building were in panic, their usual smiles were gone, everyone was filled with worry and fear, many fragile girls had already started crying. Will I die? Woo woo, what should we do? I have a child to take care of, I don't want to die. At this time, several senior executives of the group and the director of the research laboratory had gathered in an office to discuss. What should I do? What should I do? An executive was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. The Cloud Ninja Lightning country must be optimistic about our technology, so they are ready to rob us. The ninja leader trembled in his heart. When will the president come back? Asked the research section chief. I just sent a message through ninjutsu, but he hasn't replied yet. According to the plan, he will be back tomorrow, but now he can't make it in time. They. Ninja leader was panicking. Is there no other way? The whole office was silent, as quiet as death. They were all cursed. If they failed to protect the group, they would be doomed when the president came back. We are cursed, we are going to die anyway, why not fight them? The head of the laboratory gritted his teeth. However, the ninja leader poured cold water on him. There is no way to fight, I see the fourth generation of Raikage coming, he can kill all our ninja team with just one finger, his strength is enough to destroy the whole country of Soup, he can be said to be the strongest in the ninja world. At this moment, boom! The door was kicked in and hit the executive. The executive's weak body was smashed into pieces and blood splattered everywhere, and he died on the spot. A sinister voice came in. What did I hear? Curse seal? Controlling people. 3 masked ninjas walked in. It's the Cloud Ninja Anbu. The ninja leader shouted in panic, these Anbu people are murderers. The Cloud Ninja Anbu ninja said disdainfully, since you are controlled, you are of no use to us, so go to hell. Kill. The bloody murderous intent of the Cloud Ninja Anbu was so violent that it filled the entire conference room in an instant. All the executives and research room heads collapsed on the ground, their eyes rolled back and their shit and urine flowed out. The 3 Anbus slashed with their swords, and each one died with his eyes wide open. The smell of blood was so strong that even the air was blood red. The ninja leader could only resist for a moment before being beheaded by the joint attack of 2 Anbu Kumo ninjas. All the high-ranking officials were wiped out. It only took half a day for the Cloud Ninja Army to empty all the research data accumulated by Mobile Group in the past 5 years, and took away most of the researchers and technical staff. When the Cloud Ninja Army left, the city that had become bustling and prosperous after 5 years of construction suddenly became depressed. On the moon, Hyuga Tenriki and Kakuzu didn't know that the base they had run for 5 years was destroyed by the Kumo ninja while they were away. At this time, Kakuzu blocked the entrance of the tunnel to prevent the puppets from entering. Hyuga Tenriki had already entered and saw the huge Samsara Eye. Put your hand on the Samsara Eye, a special energy passed through your arm, neck, head and finally merged into a pair of white eyes. Samsara Eye, here I come. Chapter 52. A special energy flows into the white eyes. Is this the power of the Samsara Eye? It is indeed more vast and wonderful than the Byakugan. Comfortable. Cool. There is also a slight change. As the eye power is absorbed, Hyuga Tenriki feels like he is floating in the air, intoxicated. That's the feeling. Every second, Hyuga Tenryu could feel his eyes absorbing, evolving, and becoming stronger. As the power of his eyes increased, a special energy began to flow out of his eyes and began to enter various parts of his body. This feeling is even clearer than using the energy of the 10 tails to resonate and purify. 1 minute later, Hyuga 5417 Li could feel obvious changes in his body. He felt more natural and his chakra flowed more smoothly. This reincarnation eye could actually promote the improvement of pupil power and body genes. At this time, the 10 tails meteorite in his pocket also began to undergo unknown changes and absorbed the energy of the reincarnation eye. The originally dark and cracked surface of the stone gradually became smooth and dark. Outside the tunnel, Tonari Otoji felt like he was going crazy. He actually ran in. What if he absorbs the Samsara Eye? Why did he know the secret of the Samsara Eye? This is the direction of the Byakugan evolution that our Otonoki clan has only recently discovered. Why did he know this? What if he gets hold of the Samsara Eye? What should I do? Without the Samsara Eye, I can't control the moon, and I can't fulfill the wish of our Otoji Mohama clan to destroy the earth and create a new world. Kill him! He must be killed! Tonari Otoji roared fiercely to the sky, and all the puppets on the entire moon flew towards this side. The sky was suddenly filled with tens of thousands of puppets. When Kakuzu saw the terrifying number of puppets outside, his legs almost went weak. He cursed inwardly and shouted, "Come on! I, Kakuzu, am a cage-level strongman. Tonari Otoji kill!" Tens of thousands of puppets made a piercing sound at the same time, and their palms sprayed energy bombs in unison, rushing towards the tunnel entrance like a tsunami. Boom boom boom! The continuous sound of explosions caused the surrounding space to vibrate continuously, clouds surged, mountains roared, and seas roared. After a long time, the thick fog dissipated. Kakuzu stood up and looked at his intact body still. Looking outside, there was no damage at the entrance of the tunnel from the huge explosion just now. Toki Tonari looked at all this with blank eyes, muttering to himself, how could this happen? After a long time, Toki Tonari became ruthless and looked at Kakuzu's stupid pariah. You dare to block the last wish of my Toki family? Die! He commanded the mighty puppets to get close to the interior of the tunnel. Kakuzu! Now, Kakuzu's situation suddenly became dangerous. Kakuzu shouted. Earth escape, earth spear! The body began to become as hard as diamond, and the defense power was increased to the limit. Ding ding ding! The puppets hit him one by one, but they made a hard sound and could not hurt him at all. Haha, any attack will have no effect on me. And all the puppets that were swept by him were directly blown up with one punch, and the attack power was also increased to a very terrifying level. However, Kakuzu soon found something wrong, because the move Earth Escape, Earth Spear had a weakness, hardening would bring inconvenience to movement. He saw several puppets directly pass him and fly inside. Damn it! Kakuzu didn't want these puppets to run inside and affect Hyuga Tenriki, so he quickly released the ninjutsu, chased after them, and killed several puppets. However, the densely packed puppets outside rushed in again, occupying a longer section of the tunnel. Kakuzu felt more and more exhausted. Damn it, I don't want to hold myself back. This is the only way. Kakuzu gritted his teeth and made a different pose. He arched his back, and his clothes tore apart, revealing his body that was sewn together with many threads. Then 4 masks began to arch up his back, and finally they kept changing shape, as if something was about to come out. Not long after, 4 black monsters with masks came out from inside. Wind style, suppress! Kakuzu shouted, and one of the black monsters opened its mouth, spewing out a huge rotating tornado towards the tunnel exit. Boom boom boom! The extremely powerful wind escape directly crushed all the puppets in the tunnel and blew them out. The tunnel was instantly emptied and became empty. However, a large number of hundreds of puppets from outside rushed in again, blocking the tunnel once again. Water style, water curtain tent! With Kakuzu's loud shout, another black monster spurted out a powerful water cannon, once again killing all the puppets. Then countless more puppets rushed in. Fire style, headache! Attack and defense, continuous and endless. Half an hour later, Kakuzu sat on the ground panting. He felt that his chakra had dried up after releasing his ultimate move dozens of times. At the entrance of the tunnel, a large number of puppets appeared again, endless. The tunnel that had just been emptied was filled up again. It seems that I am really going to die here this time. Kakuzu looked at the large group of puppets approaching, and then felt the chakra in his body that was almost dried up, and couldn't help but smile bitterly. But it doesn't matter, I've lived enough anyway. As a CEO, although I always spend money coming to the moon, I have learned a lot, even though I still have to die in the end. Is there anything I am reluctant to give up? Perhaps, it is a pity that I didn't see him standing at the top of the ninja world. Chapter 53. Kakuzu saw the endless puppets approaching him, and the sharp weapon in his hand was only a few centimeters away from piercing his heart. 4 hearts have died, and now it is the last heart. Death is approaching. At this moment of death, Kakuzu did not think of anything else in his mind, but began to recall the scene when he met Hyuga Tenriki in Konoha. Uncle, did you forget to bring money? Here, I'll buy this mask as a gift for you. That kid who exudes the aura of rich people and speaks rich words. Back then, I was obsessed with money, and was fooled by this rich kid with a lot of words. Then I gave up the promising job of killing people for bounties, and took a job that took 5 years and more than 1 billion yuan to build a company and become a president. I didn't get any money, but I lost more than 1 billion yuan and 5 years of time. Why do I feel like I've been fooled? But, I seem to like this kind of life. The puppet's sharp weapon has pierced through his clothes and penetrated his skin, and will soon reach his heart. Kakuzu closed his eyes and waited for death. Uncle Kakuzu, how can you die? Will our company be left without anyone to manage it in the future? A smiling voice came from behind. Came back to save me? But I was dying, so I was too late. Kakuzu felt that the sharp thorn was about to pierce his heart. At this moment, boom! A large number of puppets close to Kakuzu were instantly pushed away by an invisible force. In the process of being pushed away, these puppets were completely unable to resist the huge force and began to break apart in the air, turning into countless pieces of garbage. In an instant, the tunnel was emptied, completely clean. Kakuzu stood up and touched his heart. There was nothing wrong with it. He breathed a sigh of relief. He was still alive. Hyuga Tenriki grinned and said, Uncle Kakuzu, it's a good thing I got out quickly. Otherwise, I would be very sad if I had to collect your body. Kakuzu said nothing. He looked at Hyuga Tenriki and easily saw that his eyes had changed. They were no longer white eyes, but had a lotus pupil. This is the reincarnation eye. Hyuga Tenriki said. Did you succeed? Kakuzu asked curiously. No, I can only say that I succeeded 1/3 of the time. In my current state, I have 80% of the ability of the official Samsara eye. However, when the external pupil power is consumed, the Samsara eye is only 33%, unless the Samsara eye evolves again, Hyuga Tenriki said. It's a pity for Hyuga Tenriki, according to the system, he can indeed use it to evolve into the Samsara eye in one go, and he doesn't even need to go through the fetal movement period. But Hyuga Tenriki's bloodline is not good. Although it has undergone a series of purifications, it still lacks the bloodline of the Otonoki family. To put it simply, that is, Otonoki bloodline plus physical Samsara eye plus system improvement equals Hyuga Tenriki Samsara eye. Now that the bloodline is missing, the Samsara eye is only 1/3 successful and is not stable. At this moment, a huge number of puppets continued to appear in the tunnel, surging in. As a result, Hyuga Tenriki didn't even look at them, and directly stretched out his palm. Buzz! There was a slight vibration in the ears. Then, boom 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 boom! Those newly added puppets were pushed back again, and could not withstand the huge force in the air, and shattered into countless debris. The tunnel became clean again. However, Hyuga Tenriki seemed to be calm and did not feel any effort at all. At this moment, Kakuzu suddenly wanted to bang his head against the wall. I am only at the cage level, okay? I had to work so hard to deal with them just now, why is it so easy in front of this kid? Woo woo woo. Do you always feel like a weakling and always holding him back? Let's go. This time, Hyuga Tenriki didn't need wings, and flew out of the tunnel with Kakuzu. During the process, he just flicked his hand and shattered another batch of puppets. After leaving the tunnel, Hyuga Tenriki appeared directly in front of Otoji Tonari. You actually have the Samsara eye. Although Tonari Otoji couldn't see, his senses were very sharp. Yes. Where is the holy object Samsara eye? What if you absorbed it? No. Impossible. Only the pure blood of Otoji Hamura can absorb and control the Samsara eye. Your Hyuga blood is not enough. Otoji. Tonari shook his head and said. So, I need your help. Hyuga Tenriki laughed. After hearing this, Otoji Tonari felt bad and wanted to escape, but found that he could not move. You haven't fully evolved your Samsara eye, but you can master Super God Heaven Attraction and Super God Heaven Conquest. Tonari. Otoji gritted his teeth and said. These two moves 643 seem to have no names, but in order to distinguish between the Shinra Tensei and all things Tenin of the Samsara eye, I gave them these names myself. Hyuga Tenriki didn't say much to him, just knocked him out and took him away. I must draw blood from this villain when I go back, extract cells, and study them. If I want to evolve the Samsara eye, I must use his cells to help. It would be better to give Hinata a samsara eye. Using Super God Heaven's conquest, Hyuga Tenriki led Kakuzu and Toki Tonari to fly out of the sun, then through the abyss cave, and finally back to earth. As soon as he came out of the abyss cave, Kakuzu yelled at the snow-capped mountains outside, venting his frustration at the various scumbags on the moon. At this moment, a bird flew down from the sky and stood on Kakuzu's shoulder. It's a letter. Kakuzu unfolded the letter and his face suddenly changed. What's wrong? Hyuga Tianli asked. The Kumo ninja brought a large number of ninja troops to our company, and it was yesterday. Kakuzu gritted his teeth. What? Hyuga Tenriki's face also changed. Let's go back now. Hyuga Tenriki led Kakuzu and Otogi Tonari and flew quickly to the land of hot springs. Chapter 54. The Land of Thunder. Cloud Ninja. You are looking for death. Hyuga Tenriki roared to the sky. Speed up! Speed up! Speed up again! Finally, the speed directly broke through the speed of sound, causing a series of sonic booms in the air. Flying all the way over the land of earth, the land of Taki, the land of iron, the land of sound. People on the ground heard the sonic boom in the sky, but when they looked up, they found that the sound had gone far away and disappeared in the sky. Soon, Hyuga Tenriki and the other two returned to the daimyo prefecture of the land of hot springs. Looking at the depressed city below, it should have been bustling and prosperous, but now it has become so desolate. Yes, it is desolate. The shops are closed, there are no people on the streets, and countless garbage is flying in the wind, like the whistling of ghost wind. The lively scenes of the past, the laughter of the people, and the innocent voices of children are still vivid, but now it has become like this. When they came to the mobile building again, the whole building had been emptied and the people had long disappeared. Cloud Ninja. Land of Lightning. Kakuzu clenched his fists, seething with anger. This was his 5 years of hard work, and now it had turned into this. This was no longer described by hatred. It was revenge. Blood feud. Murderous intent. Ha ha ha, scream, that way we will feel more pleasure. A vulgar laugh came from the factory area. Help! Help! No one can save you. Ha ha! There is no one protecting you here. Before Hyuga Tenriki could move, Kakuzu disappeared in an instant. When Hyuga Tenriki arrived at the factory, he saw several women inside, and Kakuzu took off his outer robe and covered a crying woman. There were several dead bodies of men lying on the ground, but there was no blood. Kakuzu restrained his murderous aura, forced out a somewhat ugly smile, and put some money in front of these women. I failed to protect you, but I will definitely avenge you. Hyuga Tenriki was stunned that Kakuzu could be so considerate and gentle. Then, Kakuzu walked all over the area and killed all the people who were burning, killing and looting. After a long time, Kakuzu returned to Hyuga Tenriki with a violent and bloody look. Let's get revenge. Okay. Hyuga Tenri nodded vigorously. His eyes were trembling, as if it was his first time in the world. Land of Lightning. The daimyo's mansion. At this time, the daimyo summoned all the ministers and dignitaries to hold a grand banquet to celebrate the successful completion of this operation. Just last night, the daimyo's mansion and the Kumagakure ninja village had already made a plan to divide the spoils of war and jointly set up a company, each taking half of the share. Congratulations, it looks like our Kingdom of Thunder is going to prosper. The Land of Lightning will surely become even more powerful and rule the ninja world. By the way, I heard that the president of the mobile communications group is a very powerful person. We have to be careful in the future. Humph, he's just a ninja. Our daimyo has already issued an order to have the Anbu and the Hidden Cloud Ninja Village send out a joint search team. They will definitely kill him to prevent any future trouble. Haha, under such power, no matter how strong this so-called president is, he cannot escape the fate of being killed by us. This person deserves to die for not handing over such a good thing to the Kingdom of Thunder. Long live the Kingdom of Thunder! Long live the country of thunder! A group of dignitaries celebrated and drank. At this time, the people of the country of thunder were also overjoyed. The business of the taverns was particularly prosperous today. A large group of people came early and were enthusiastically discussing the actions of the country of thunder. It is said that as soon as the daimyo appeared, all the people in the country of Tang knelt down obediently and dared not resist. I heard their president escaped during the chaos. The daimyo has already sent people to hunt him down, that president is definitely dead. Daming is so wise. From now on, mobile phones belong to our Kingdom of Thunder. Cheers to the Land of Thunder! Cheers to the Land of Thunder! Just as the whole city was cheering and celebrating, suddenly, boom boom boom! The sky changed color, the sunlight dimmed, and the clouds quickly retreated. The ground also began to shake violently. There's an earthquake! Run! Run! Whether in the daimyo's mansion or in the city, everyone suddenly became panic-stricken. Everyone fled the house in a panic and came to the outside of the street. Look, what is that? A terrified scream attracted the attention of countless people. They looked in the direction of the finger and were immediately shocked. A giant! On the edge of the city of Damingfu, a super giant was looking at this side. This giant had long silver-white hair, a golden patterned robe, and a pair of lotus-shaped pupils. The whole giant was like boiling water. It floated upwards. The Land of Thunder, how dare you take my things while I'm away? All the people in the daimyo immediately understood what the giant meant and panicked. Oh my god, is this the president of the mobile group? Too scary. Wang, Zhao, didn't you say that the president escaped? The daimyo must have deceived us. Oh my god, I actually offended such a scary person. He wants revenge. No, I don't want to die. For a moment, the entire city of Daimyo was in chaos, and countless people rushed to remote places. In Daimyo, the daimyo and those dignitaries were all scared and stared at the giant in the distance. The daimyo said blankly, why is there such a terrifying person in the ninja world? Report. At this moment, the giant in the distance suddenly moved. With both hands stretched forward. Today is a good day to die, I forgive you and I hope hell forgives you too. Die. Silver, wheel, reincarnation, explosion. Chapter 55. Silver. Wheel. Turns. Reborn. Explodes. The giant's voice resounded throughout the world. In front of the giant, a huge light blue halo suddenly appeared, and then a huge chakra grey tornado instantly rushed towards the daimyo mansion. Even though they were hundreds of meters away, everyone in the daimyo mansion felt the world shaking violently, and the wind pressure came directly to their faces, making it a little difficult to breathe. The momentum was really terrifying. Everyone was terrified. Ruined. What kind of horrible monster has daimyo provoked? I don't want to die. They didn't have time to regret for long, the huge tornado had already swept in. The tornado was like a huge plow, wherever it went, the houses were swept away like ants, and then crushed into pieces in the air. The soil was directly turned out, the block disappeared, and it turned directly into a huge gully. Ah! Countless screams were swept up into the sky, and then disappeared. Finally, the tornado crushed the daimyo prefecture. Earth escape, earth flow wall. Water escape, water wall. All the ninjas in the daimyo prefecture desperately performed defensive ninjutsu 647, but it was useless. As soon as the tornado appeared, it crushed all the ninjutsu into slag with its huge rotating wind pressure at a distance of 10 meters. The daimyo, dignitaries, and wealthy people all looked at this terrifying ninjutsu that seemed to destroy the world in horror. What kind of monster have we provoked? Soon, the majestic tornado engulfed them, then tore the entire daimyo apart, and finally crashed into the high mountain behind. Boom! Another super terrifying collision. Earthquake and landslide. When the smoke dissipated, the entire mountain disappeared, leaving only a huge gully. All the surviving citizens of the Land of Thunder stared blankly at the disappeared mountain, and then looked at the once prosperous daimyo, which had now become a ruin, with fear and regret on their faces. Why would you mess with such a monster? They all forgot how they had praised their own name not long ago. Asai. 10 kilometers away, on a big waterfall. Haiga Tenriki take a rest for 2 days, then go to Kumagakur. Kakuzu nodded, and then began to practice silently. After a series of blows, Kakuzu clearly realized that his strength was too poor. Even if he was at the level of Cage, what would it matter? He would still be bullied by others. If he was strong enough, no one would dare to steal his things, and he could protect what he wanted to protect. Kakuzu began to desire power more and began to practice hard. Haiga. Tenriki took out the 10-tailed meteorite, and his body slowly absorbed the chakra and pupil power of the samsara eye stored in it. Just after performing the silver wheel samsara explosion, Haiga Tenriki felt that the pupil power of the samsara eye was significantly reduced. It is estimated that he can only perform a few more special moves before the Samsara Eye degenerates into a Byakugan. However, with these pupil powers, it is enough to face the Kumagakur ninja village with the Raikage and Killer Bee. The energy and pupil power stored in the 10-tailed meteorite were constantly extracted by Hyuga Tenriki and absorbed into his body. The body is gradually improving under the influence of the 10-tails energy and the power of the Samsara Eye, but it has obviously reached a bottleneck and the improvement speed is getting slower and slower. It seems that in the next plan, we must speed up the extraction of Otoji Tonari's genes. The daimyo's mansion in the Land of Lightning was destroyed. This news spread like a hurricane throughout the ninja world in just one day. The entire ninja world was shaken. After seeing the photo of the ruins of the daimyo's mansion in the intelligence, the fourth Hokage felt a chill down his spine even though he was confident in his own strength. Is this really the result of a ninjutsu? The entire daimyo prefecture was cut in half by a huge gully, especially the high mountain behind the daimyo prefecture, which was directly destroyed. Yo-yo. I'm not that strong, this guy is too scary, we are in danger, yo-yo. Kirabi was rapping. Ma Bai glared at him angrily. It's already this time, and you still have the mood to rap. Kirabi yeah. I can't help it, I just like rap, I am the dazzling sun. Yeah. Ma Bai covered his forehead and ignored him. This time, the daimyo's mansion in the Land of Lightning was destroyed, and the daimyo and many ministers and wealthy people died directly. Now the entire Land of Lightning is in great chaos. As the ninja village of the Land of Lightning, the Cloud Ninja village has always supported each other. After this incident, the days of the Cloud Ninja village will become more difficult. What is even more worrying is that according to the description of the survivors of the daimyo's mansion, the giant should be a chakra giant state full of energy. The ninjutsu that can destroy the entire daimyo's mansion with one move shows how powerful the opponent is. When will the opponent come? Can the Cloud Ninja village resist it? What if the opponent uses a similar big move? Will the Cloud Ninja village be destroyed directly like the daimyo's mansion? Mabai is worried, and the fourth Raikage is even more worried. One-on-one, he is not afraid of the opponent, because he is confident in his strength. Even if it doesn't work, he can add Killer Bee. But if the opponent uses the same big move in advance, how can he block it? Can't block it. For the first time, he realized that his actions in the past few days were really reckless. He acted without asking about the other party's background. The fourth Raikage rubbed his brows. Send a message. Contact all the major ninja villages immediately to collect information about this giant. His eyes are very special, he must have a special bloodline limit. Send an order. Recall all the outside ninjas to defend the village. Other. The fourth Raikage hesitated for a long time, but finally gave the order. Also, evacuate the villagers overnight to minimize the losses. The enemy should be here soon. Chapter 56. The Land of Lightning has always been the enemy of the Land of Fire and Konoha. This time, they foolishly provoked a super powerful person and were destroyed. This obviously made the villagers of Konoha very relieved. Hokage Building. The third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the latest news from the Anbu. Looking at the huge gully in the daimyo's mansion in the photo, the third Hokage began to measure the level of this ninjutsu. I didn't expect that there was such a strong man behind the mobile group. No wonder they dared to launch such a revolutionary product like mobile phones. Fortunately, the Fire Country did not take action, otherwise the Fire Country daimyo mansion would be destroyed. I don't want to provoke such a strong man. In addition to the photos of the disaster site of the daimyo mansion, there is another photo, a photo of the chakra giant. The third generation looked solemn. This state is very similar to the sage mode of the first generation. Look into that person's eyes again. These eyes. I've never seen them before. What kind of bloodline limit is this? Who is this person? Why did he suddenly appear? And how powerful is he? A series of questions made the third generation feel a sense of oppression as if a storm was about to come, and even had an illusion that he might meet this person in the future. With a cautious mentality, the third generation began to order the ninjas below to try their best to find clues and find out who this person is. Hyuga family. Hyuga Hayashi got the information about the destruction of the daimyo's mansion in the Land of Lightning a little later than the third Hokage. The huge disaster scene certainly shocked him, but the photo of the chakra image at the back shocked him even more. Too much like him. Hyuga Hayashi immediately felt that this person looked very much like his son. Last week, he received a mobile phone from his son. Although he couldn't make calls, there was a video in it. The video was Hyga Tenriki telling him that he had successfully entered the rank of Jonin. In the video, Hyga Tenriki's hair was a bit silvery white and very long. His face had changed a lot compared to 6 months ago, becoming more mature and with clearer edges. Obviously, the photo of Hyga Tenriki in the video was very similar to the photo of the giant in front of him. Could he be my son? That's impossible. But why do they look so similar? But, these eyes. He shouldn't be my son, the Byakugan can't become like this. Hyga Hayashi shook his head and denied it. He had never seen such eyes before, and he was also sure that the Byakugan of the Hyga family could not become like this, so he was sure that this person was not his son. As for the Byakugan evolution, well, Hinata didn't even know about the Rinnegan, let alone the Samsara eye. Let's eat. His wife Hyga Nami greeted him, and Hyga Hayashi collected some information and got up to eat. Father, Hinata. Hyga and Hanabi Hyga ran in breathlessly, but their clothes were covered with a lot of dirt and leaves, and it was obvious that they had just had a lot of fun. It has been half a year since Tenryuho Hyga left. Hinata is 8 years old, and she has grown into a beautiful girl, graceful and slender, and she is very likable because of her shy personality. Hanabi Hyga is already 3 years old, and she is growing up fast. She is lively and mischievous, and she is also a bully in the Hyga family, but many old people like her very much. Father, when will my brother come back? I haven't seen him for more than half a year. I miss him so much. Hyga Hanabi said with a pout. Hyga Hinata also looked at Hyga Hayashi expectantly. She was shy, so she didn't ask as directly as Hyga Hanabi. As for Hyga Nami, she looked at Hyga Hayashi with tears in her eyes. She was so pitiful. Cough cough. Men should go out and explore more. Hyga Hayashi said with a guilty conscience. Humph. The 3 women snorted coldly at him and ignored him. However, after dinner, the Hyga ninja came to report Master, a letter from the young master. A letter from my brother? Yet. Hyga Hanabi cheered, ran over and snatched the envelope, then opened it to read, but unfortunately she saw something she couldn't understand. Humph, another code. How boring. Hyga Hayashi took the letter and read it. It was a simple garbled code, just for communication between father and son about unimportant matters. Soon, Hyga Hayashi smiled. I have good news for you. Tianli will be back this month. Really? They. 3 of them were surprised. Oh yeah, great, my brother is coming back. I want him to go shopping with me and buy lots of delicious food. Hyga Hanabi jumped for joy. At this time, Hyga Hinata's little hands were grabbing her clothes, feeling very happy. I haven't seen my brother for a long time. I miss him so much. Ninja school. Koji, have you heard? I heard that the daimyo's mansion in the Land of Lightning was destroyed by a super strong man, and all the daimyo and ministers in the Land of Lightning died. Ino nodded. My dad told me about this during lunch. I heard that the super strong man turned into a huge giant, and then flattened the entire daimyo's mansion with one move. Naruto interrupted. I want to be that strong in the future. Sasuke, who was standing aside, also yearned for it. Koji said enviously, such a strong man is so powerful, I want to be that strong in the future. Shikamaru, who was always lazy, curled his lips. Tisk, there is no such strong man in the entire ninja world, you are good enough? It's impossible in your lifetime. Koji was angry. What did you say? Shikamaru, I said you can't. Ah. I'll fight you. Koji's big fat body rushed directly to Shikamaru. Shikamaru was soon beaten to the point of rolling his eyes, and finally begged for mercy. Let go, I'll treat you to barbecue tonight. When Koji heard this, his mouth was drooling. Okay, okay. Barbecue, I like it. Shikamaru sighed. Oh, what a hassle. Chapter 57. In a dark cave. A hideous golem, 10 pillars, and a group of people standing on them. The leader was Pain, Zero, who invited Kakuzu to join. This is Akatsuki. Pain, Jozo, Orochimaru, Scorpion of the Red Sand, Konan, Zetsu. Pain, I don't know if you have heard any news from the Land of Lightning recently. Orochimaru laughed in his unique voice. I know. I heard that the daimyo's mansion in the Land of Lightning was directly destroyed by a super large ninjutsu. The daimyo, ministers, and many dignitaries were killed. I'm quite curious about that ninjutsu. Such a powerful ninja appeared in the ninja world. Zetsu, I've been to the scene to investigate. The power of the ninjutsu is rated as Super S level. According to the 6, 4, 7 survivors of that day, the name of this ninjutsu is Silver Wheel Reincarnation Explosion. And the image of that powerful ninja, I entered the memories of some of the survivors of that day and saw it. Soon, a projection appeared in the cave. It was exactly the image of Hyuga Tenriki when he turned into a giant. Pain said, everyone pay attention and observe. What is going on with his giant state at this time? I have never seen such a ninjutsu. Juzo. I have never seen it before. I would like to meet him and let my same Hata taste his chakra. Scorpion suddenly said, didn't you notice his eyes? What kind of eyes are those? I have never seen such a bloodline limit. Everyone looked at the eyes in the image. Juzo, indeed, I have never seen it before. Orochimaru. It's the same as the leader's samsara eye. They are eyes that I have never seen before. And Zetsu muttered in his heart, from ancient times to the present, except for the old sages such as Toad Sage, I guess I have the most extensive knowledge in the entire ninja world, but I have never seen such eyes. It's really strange. Pain, this person, I don't know who he is, but I know that the president of the mobile group is a man named Kakuzu. Kakuzu. Scorpion said, I heard that the leader started to gather partners before I came, and one of them was named Kakuzu. Since he was chosen by the leader, he must be very powerful. Pain nodded. He is S level, a rebel ninja from Taki no Kuni, likes money, and then I don't know why he suddenly set up a mobile group. I originally thought he was joking, but now it seems that he has supporters behind him. Ju, I think we should collect information about Kakuzu and the strong man behind the scenes, and at the same time win him over. This kind of strong enemy is probably on par with the leader, and we can't make him our enemy. Agree. 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 Everyone was still very wary of the ninjutsu that destroyed the daimyo's mansion in the Land of Lightning. They were afraid that they would be targeted by a strong man of the other side's level, so they all nodded in agreement. Pain, in the next few days, if anyone has time to go to the village, it is estimated that this strong man will go to the hidden Cloud Ninja village for revenge. We will observe his battle and collect intelligence. I have time, I'm going. I'll go too. It's such a good thing, of course I have to go. How can I be missing from this kind of thing? Juzo, Orochimaru, and Scorpion of the Red Sand all signed up, and Zetsu, the intelligence expert, naturally went back. Cloud Village. Thunder rumbled high in the mountains. Although it was daytime and the sun should be shining brightly, the Cloud Village was indeed covered with thunderclouds and gloomy, especially today, which seemed the gloomiest. In the village, there was no smoke rising at this time, but there was a dead silence. 30 kilometers away, Hyuga Tenryu and Kakuzu stood on a mountain top, looking at the Cloud Village in the distance. Under Hyuga Tenryu's reincarnation eyes, the 30-kilometer distance was no pressure at all. Everything in the Cloud Village was clearly presented in Hyuga Tenryu's eyes. Hyuga Tenryu said, they have all withdrawn. Only the 4th Reikage, the 8 Jinkriki, and many ninjas are there. Kakuzu complained, last time you destroyed the daimyo's mansion with one move, it was great, but you didn't get their money back. We need funds to rebuild the mobile group, so you must collect the other party's treasury first, and then kill the other party. As expected, Kakuzu is still the money-loving Kakuzu. Hyuga Tenriki smiled and said, no problem. With the Samsara Eye, Hyuga Tenriki quickly found the treasury of the Kumagakure village. It was a huge metal box, with layers of illusions and seals wrapped around it, but they were all ineffective in front of the Samsara Eye. There was a lot of money in the treasury box, roughly estimated to be more than 1 billion. The Kumo Ninja's treasury is very rich, with our backup data and experience, it is enough to build a new mobile group. Hyuga Tenriki said. That's good. Now it's your turn to perform. Wait a minute, we still have quite a few viewers. Hyuga Tenriki curled his lips and glanced at the forest around the Kumagakure. Several members of Konoha Anbu, Orochimaru, Juzo, and Scorpion of the Red Sand also came. In addition, the Sand Ninja, Rock Ninja, and Mist Ninja all came. Hyuga Tenriki also found the biggest conspirator in the history of Naruto in a very, very hidden place, Zetsu. Kakuzu, it's better if they come. 2-8. Hyuga Tenriki smiled and said, yes, let them see my current strongest state, so that they won't dare to provoke us like the Kumagakure in the future. Kakuzu businessman, peace is the most precious. Soon, the two separated. Hyuga Tenriki flew into the sky and headed straight for the Kumagakure village. Hyuga Tenriki's appearance was not hidden at all, and everyone noticed it at once. Orochimaru looked at the figure in the sky. It appeared. There was no intention of hiding at all. Has its strength reached this level? A big question mark appeared in Zetsu's head. What kind of ninjutsu is this? It actually flew directly in the air, and there was no trace of ninjutsu. Chapter 58. He's coming. The fourth Raikage looked up at the sky. Everyone looked up at the sky and saw a person in the sky, with long silver white hair and a robe fluttering in the wind. The cloud ninjas immediately recognized the figure in the sky, the one who destroyed the daimyo's mansion. He can actually fly in the sky. Some cloud ninjas showed fear on their faces. The more they knew about him, the more they felt afraid. How could there be such a terrifying strong man? The fourth Raikage was a little regretful at this time. If he had known earlier, he would have acted cautiously and would not have been in such a mess now. At this moment, a sound resounded through the sky. Super God Heaven's induction. The man stretched out one hand downwards. Boom! The ground suddenly shook violently, and all the cloud ninjas lost their balance and became chaotic. Then, the ground shook again. Boom 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 boom. A piece of ground near the Cloud Ninja Raikage office building began to rise rapidly. Not good. His target is Cuckoo. The fourth Raikage was shocked, and the other Kumo ninjas were also greatly shocked and panicked. Then, a large piece of soil with a diameter of more than 30 meters began to break away from the ground and slowly rise into the sky. Crack, crack, crack. Countless rocks began to fall off and onto the ground, leaving behind a 20-meter-long metal box floating in the air, rising higher and higher. A few kilometers away, the Konoha Anbu, Mist Ninja, Rock Ninja, Sand Ninja. All the ninjas stared at the huge box in the sky with their mouths wide open in surprise. On the other side, Akatsuki's expression was similar. Orochimaru's snake pupils emitted a scorching light. So you can rob like this, it's really exciting. Scorpion of the Red Sand, what a surprising way to rob. Zetsu was very shocked at this time, because this was obviously the trick of the Rinnegan, Tensei. Why did the other party know this trick? Damn it! They! Fourth Raikage roared. A burst of steaming mist rose directly around the fourth Raikage, and then lightning wrapped around it, making a sizzling sound. This is the fourth Raikage's activation skill, which can greatly increase the body's speed and strength. I will never let you take away the Cloud Ninja. Boom! The ground beneath his feet instantly collapsed into a huge pit. The fourth Raikage, Chao Chenzudian, climbed to the top of the huge box in the vault in an instant, and then jumped again, rushing towards the enemy in the sky. As a result, he saw that the enemy stretched out his palm again, and he. Super God Heaven's conquest. The huge force collided, causing a huge explosion in the air. The fourth Raikage flew back at a speed invisible to the naked eye, fell heavily to the ground, and sank directly into a depth of dozens of meters. Hyuga Tenryu was also a little surprised. He didn't expect the fourth Raikage to be so strong. If he hadn't temporarily increased the power of the Super God Heaven's conquest, the fourth Raikage would have successfully approached him. Big brother! Killer Bee roared in shock, singing in the tune of rap, how dare you be so presumptuous in the Cloud Ninja, injuring my big brother, and robbing the treasury. I, the Shining Killer Bee, will never forgive you. The eighth, yet. Red bubbles began to appear gradually in his body, and then gradually spread all over his body, and soon 8 chakra tails quickly appeared outside his body. He rushed to the sky like the fourth Raikage, and in a flash he rushed to the top of the giant box in the treasury, and his speed was no slower than that of the fourth Raikage. Unfortunately, before he reached the enemy's position, he was still greeted by a huge force. Super God Heavenly Conquest. Boom! He flew back at a faster speed and then crashed into the deep pit. Hateful! As a Jinkraki, my true self is a monster. I will teach you a lesson. Then, Killer Bee's pit began to shake, and soon after, a huge 8-tailed bull-headed monster appeared on the ground. A group of cloud ninjas were shocked. Oh no, Killer Bee-sama has turned into the 8-tailed fox. Lord Raikage clearly warned me. But the 8 tails was now looking up with its head raised, and a black super chakra compressed body began to gather in its mouth. Tailed beast ball, bull cannon. Eruption. Boom. The tailed beast ball turned into a golden beam of light, instantly passing over the giant vault box and rushing towards the enemy in the sky. A group of cloud ninjas watched this powerful ninjutsu excitedly. Horrible! So powerful! The enemy is dead. In the distance, Orochimaru and others were also surprised. Orochimaru licked his lips. Is that the 8 tails of the cloud ninja? I really want to study it. Juzohei, what a powerful ninjutsu! Scorpion! It seems that the ninja in the sky didn't dodge. Is he scared silly? Just when everyone was looking at the tailed beast cannon attack in surprise, the ninja in the sky directly stretched out a hand, and then a light blue ball of light emerged from his hand and shot towards the tailed beast cannon. The ball of light grew larger and met the tailed beast cannon. Not only did it not collide, but it was wrapped by the tailed beast cannon. Finally, the golden-tailed beast cannon actually began to change color, turning light blue, becoming even bigger, and finally flew back and hit the 8 tails who didn't react. Boom! A mushroom cloud appeared over the ninja village. Boom 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 boom! The sky and the earth changed color, the mountains collapsed and the ground cracked, a strong airflow spread instantly, overwhelming the mountains and the sea. All the houses in the center of the ninja village were like being destroyed and turned into powder. The ninjas from other villages who were observing from the periphery could still feel the strong wind that swept everything, even though they were more than 10 kilometers away. Countless trees were uprooted, and a group of ninjas were in a mess. When the smoke cleared, the ninjas from Akatsuki, Konoha, and other villages saw a ninja village that had become a sinkhole. Only the edge of the entire ninja village had not become a sinkhole, but the houses had already been destroyed and blown away. Chapter 59. Tailed Beast Cannon counterattacked, and the entire Kumagakure village was razed to the ground. Some of the ninjas in the center of the explosion relied on defensive ninjutsu to barely resist, but most of the ninjas were almost killed. The number and strength of the ninjas were mostly destroyed by this attack. Hyuga Tenriki sneered in the sky. This tailed beast cannon has really reduced my consumption a lot. The reincarnation eye has the ability to absorb and transform chakra, but this time Hyuga Tenriki did not absorb it, but directly transformed it, took it for himself, and fought back. If he wanted to destroy the entire Kumagakure village by himself, he would have to consume a lot of the 10 tails energy and pupil power, but if he transformed it, it would be much less. Soon, the huge vault box was directly led to the sky by Hyuga Tenriki. Seal. He took out the sealing ninjutsu scroll, sealed the huge vault box directly inside, and then put it away. Next, we have to kill the 4th Raikage. Hyuga Tenriki clearly remembered how the Kumo ninja kidnapped him when he was 3 years old, and forced the Hyuga family to sacrifice Hyuga Hayashi after the truth was revealed. If it wasn't for his own plan, Hyuga Hayashi would have been forced to death just like the original plot. As the future patriarch of the Hyuga family, Hyuga Tenriki naturally wanted to seek justice. Whether it was chakra or pupil power, there was still 80% left, enough for a super war. However, a plan was needed. At this moment, there was a new movement in the sinkhole below. My village! How dare you destroy my village? Unforgivable! Ah! I'm going to kill you! The 4th Raikage roared to the sky, his hands raised high. A lightning current that was even more powerful than before appeared around the Raikage. Crackling! Snapping! The chakra current enveloped the Raikage's entire body, like a boiling flame, impacting the surrounding air and causing waves of vibrations. This is... The Raikage Sama's chakra activation level is so high. Lord Raikage is going to use his strongest strength. The speed of Raikage's instant body technique is unstoppable. Even the 4th Hokage of Flying Thunder God can only match him. Lord Raikage will definitely help us get revenge. All the Cloud Ninjas looked at the 4th Raikage excitedly and eagerly. Lightning release, armor! With this shout, the Raikage's body changed again, and the original chakra energy turned into a blue airflow, protecting his body. The 4th Raikage stared at the enemy in the sky. This time, I will definitely twist your head. Hyuga Tenriki laughed, you will use all your strength, I will also use all my strength, I will not give you any chance. The 4th generation Raikage's perverted Hyuga Tenriki knew it, and it would be stupid for Hyuga Tenriki not to use all his strength for such a person. Hey! The 4th generation Raikage shouted loudly, and then disappeared instantly. A huge pit was directly blasted out on the spot. Lord Raikage has disappeared. So fast! I can't see anything at all. The Cloud Ninjas below exclaimed. However, although the 4th Raikage was fast, he was nowhere to be found by the Samsara Eye. Here it comes. Hyga Tenriki's eyes narrowed slightly. The fourth Raikage had escaped the Earth's gravity with just his strength and flew hundreds of meters into the sky, and his speed had not slowed down much. His strength was truly terrifying. It's getting closer. 100 meters. 50 meters. This distance was only a matter of seconds. Hyga Tenriki finally moved. Super. God. Heaven. Conquest. Boom. There was a violent vibration, and the space was in turmoil. The speed of the Raikage's upward movement suddenly slowed down. Ah! Go to hell! The thunder shadow roared wildly, the blue airflow on his body became more boiling, and the speed of rising increased again. What a pervert! Feeling the chakra and pupil power being lost faster due to Super God Heaven's conquest, Hyga Tenriki raised one hand high. 10 chakra balls appeared around his palm and spun rapidly. Then, the 10 chakra balls suddenly merged together to form a golden lightsaber. The golden lightsaber penetrated the sky and the thunderclouds in the sky were directly split apart. On the ground, whether it was the surviving Kumo ninja, the Akatsuki ninjas from various villages who were watching, or the Kumo ninja villagers who had been moved out of the ninja village hundreds of kilometers away, at this moment, all stared blankly at the amazing scene in the sky. Only Hyga Tenriki smiled bitterly. Fourth generation gone. The golden beam slashed down. Golden, wheel, turn, life, explode. The fourth Raikage tried to hide, but found that the space around him was tightly locked. Damn it! I will never be defeated by such a move. Ha! The fourth Raikage roared. The blue aura on his body became even more violent. The golden lightsaber instantly slashed at the fourth Raikage. The two sides collided. The surrounding space was silent. Then it exploded violently. Boom 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 boom. The fourth Raikage, Wang Mazhao, was directly bombarded and vomited blood countless times, and was knocked back to the ground, and the golden lightsaber was still following behind, determined to kill him on the spot. Big brother! This time, Killer Bee held the golden lightsaber with the 8 tails and protected the fourth Raikage behind him. Humph! Sky Hyga Tenriki snorted coldly. The golden lightsaber surged, and all its power hit Killer Bee and the 8 tails directly. Boom 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 boom. A mushroom cloud appeared again in the cloud village. This time, the scale of the mushroom cloud was twice as large as the scale of the tailed beast cannon just now. After the smoke cleared, the cloud village turned into a larger sinkhole. Gone. Hyga Tenriki looked around, but he didn't see any trace of the fourth Raikage, Killer Bee, or the 8 tails. Chapter 60. Hyga Tenriki scanned around, but did not find the fourth Raikage, Killer Bee, or the 8 tails. They must not be dead, it seems they have escaped. It's a pity that the power of the Samsara Eye is about to dissipate. It will be restored to the level of the Byakugan, and it no longer has the ability to see through everything. It would be a lie for Hyga Tenriki to say that he has no regrets. He originally thought that he should be able to kill the fourth Raikage, but he didn't expect that the power of the Samsara Eye and the 10 tails meteorite would consume so much chakra. If it was a complete version of the Golden Wheel Samsara explosion, the fourth Raikage would be dead, but it was a pity that the power just now was less than 10%, and all the reasons were just because the pupil power was not enough. After returning to Konoha this time, I must do a good retreat and study Tonariology, and strive to transform the blood in my body to provide a foundation for the Samsara Eye. Otherwise, it will be useless even if I go to the moon. If the level of the Sharingan is applied, the current pair of Byakugan of Hyga Tenryu is probably at the level of the Mangeki, but not the eternal Mangeki, let alone the Samsara Eye level. 647's only task now is to purify the atavistic blood, improve the purity of the Byakugan, and evolve it to the eternal Mangeki level. Another question that needs to be considered is whether the current pair of Byakugan can resist illusions. In theory, there should be no problem. Hyga Tenryu stayed in the sky for a while, feeling that the pupil power absorbed from the holy relic Samsara Eye in the 10-tailed meteorite had been exhausted, and the energy of the 10-tailed meteorite was almost used up. Hyga Tenryu knew that he had to retreat. Go back. Whoosh. Hyga Tenryu drew a line in the sky and disappeared in the distant sky. After a long time, people who were gathering intelligence around the ninja village dared to show up. Orochimaru and others came to the edge of the ninja village, looking at the huge cenote with a diameter of more than 1,000 meters, and couldn't help but smack their lips. Orochimaru licked his lips. It's really strong. Jozo, I don't want to meet such a strong man. We are not on the same level at all. Jozo was Itachi's first teammate after he joined Akatsuki. He was the owner of the beheading sword. However, he was killed by the 4th Mizukage, three-tailed Jinchuriki, when he went to the Mist Village to perform a mission. At this time, Zetsu emerged from the ground, with a pitcher plant on his head. It has just been confirmed that the 4th Raikage was rescued by the 8 tails Jinchuriki. Scorpion, by the way, the 4th Raikage is really strong. He was hit head-on by that ultimate move and he didn't die. And his speed is too fast. We will probably die if we face him. Zetsu, I am very curious about the ninjutsu of that strong man. Last time it was the Silver Wheel Reincarnation Explosion, and this time it was the Golden Wheel Reincarnation Explosion. The power is amazing. We can't mess with the mobile group in the future. Orochimaru agree. Jozo strongly agree. Scorpion agree. Zetsu is thinking of something different in his heart. The living person must be found out as soon as possible, otherwise it may affect Kaguya-sama's resurrection plan in the future. Yunli Gorge. There was a loud rustling sound. The water rippled, a black shadow quickly expanded, and then bang. With a bang, the 8 tails emerged from the water. Then it was Killer Bee, and then the 4th Raikage. Killer Bee and the 4th Raikage lay weakly on the ground, dying. Especially the 4th Raikage, his whole body was about to fall apart, dozens of bones were broken, and he was still coughing up blood. They. 8 tails was not in a better situation, 4 of its tails were broken, and one of its horns was originally cut off by the 3rd Raikage, and this time the other horn was also broken. Damn, where did this guy come from? Why is he so scary? Yaoi thought of the terrifying energy sword just now. He thought he would die when it hit him. Fortunately, he was thick-skinned and survived. Not long after, several cloud ninjas ran over quickly. Lord Raikage! Killer Bee Master! Hurry, treat the 2 adults! The 2 medical ninjas were sweating as they treated the 4th Raikage and Killer Bee. After more than half an hour, when the 2 medical ninjas were almost exhausted, the 4th Raikage finally woke up. I'm not dead, the 4th Raikage tried to struggle but coughed up blood again. Lord Raikage, please don't move. You are too seriously injured. What a terrible injury. The 4th Raikage sighed, that ninjutsu just now was really terrifying. Although he was always domineering and confident, he really regretted it this time. The enemy he provoked was too strong and he couldn't resist it at all. Even at his strongest state, he was killed by the opponent. If it weren't for his brother's desperate resistance, he would probably have died. In my condition, how long will it take for me to recover? Lord Raikage! Your injuries are too severe. It will take at least 3 years to recover. Medical. Ninja. How is he? The 4th Raikage looked at Killer Bee next to him. Reporting to Lord Raikage, Lord Killer Bee is no longer in danger of death, but it will take another 2 years for him to recover. The medical ninja replied. The 4th Raikage sighed and said, in the future, we will recuperate and implement a contraction strategy. As for the mobile group, forget it and don't provoke them. At this moment, he could not muster any thoughts of confrontation. A day later, all the villagers of the Cloud Ninja Village stopped at the Cloud Thunder Gorge and began to build a new Cloud Ninja Village in this place. After this battle, the Cloud Ninja Village not only lost the 4th Raikage and the 8 tails Jinchuriki, 2 super strong men, but also lost 1/3 of the village ninjas to death and 1/3 to injuries. The strength was greatly reduced. It would never be possible for them to run to Konoha and threaten with war as they did 5 years ago. The destruction of the hidden cloud village and the huge sinkhole once again caused a shock to the entire ninja world. For a time, the mobile group became famous in the ninja world. At this time, the culprit of the incident, Hyuga Tenriki, threw away the robe and dyed his hair black again. Go back to Konoha. It's been a long time since I last saw my parents. Hinata should have grown taller, right? And Hanabi, will she still be as lively as before? Naruto, Sasuke, and the 12 young warriors of Konoha. And the Uchiha clan extermination night coming next month.